You probably. I mean, you definitely are. We're good. Okay. Well, thank you, Doggo. Let me know how the audio is. Obviously, I'm not swinging around at the moment, but okay. All right. Gresh or someone, I guess, can tweet it out on the 5 man account or something. Ow. Yeah. Hello, chat. Let people trickle in. What's up, Nate? I see you first chatter. What up? What up? Actually, I forgot that the browser source is for the other voice channel, so I'll switch it up. Well, let's go. What's up, crazy Canadian? I see you. I see you. Just setting up the overlay so you guys can see who's actually talking. Oh, what? Daddy, of course. Uh, yeah. So yeah, obviously in VC right here, we can talk to chat about it too. It's not just like 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 old like podcast style where it's like we just talk to each other and ignore chat. Chat can be part of it too, of course, if they have any thing they want to say, or of course. So I'll be hyped to talk with chat about your Spider-Man memories as well. And yeah, Alec. Apparently, it's like mainly like Goblin and Ock, like that are like the forefront of like everything. Oh, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, Paul Giamatti. Bro, Guinea, we just started, but thank you for the sub, bro. We just started, Guinea. Relax, man. What the- yeah, yeah. You can't hear. Oh, you can't hear it? Really? You're cringe too, Truckle. What, Hold on, they can't even hear. Hold on, chat. I know I'm working on it. Yep. Never. Oh yeah, Tony. Yeah, Tony's. Can anyone? So nothing, right? Even on OBS, it's saying like you guys are on. Like, I see the waveform. Oh, okay. Okay. So I would move it all the way to track 1. You mean, Charco?
Up audio for now.
Sure. All right, try speaking. I moved Discord 3 is what I have it as.
Hello.
To track 1.
Do we exist to the internet now?
Yeah, we're good.
Good.
Oh, sweet.
Right.
Yeah.
There we go.
Hello, internet.
Well, okay, yeah. So it was the multi-track thing. My bad, chat. My bad. Because I was going crazy, bro. I was looking at the meters. I was like, wait a minute. Everyone, like, it's going. What? Okay, we're good. We're good now.
They said
It's going gone.
Okay, so
I'm the
official
boomer.
start is at 6:18. Remember that for when we edit this and upload it.
Oh, I mean, it started when it started. So
Hey, we can make that section its own video.
True.
Figuring out how to stream. That's a good one.
With Barry
Tips on
Geek.
how to stream
Yeah.
on
Barely
Twitch
Geek talking
TV.
to himself for 7.5 minutes. it's not even long enough to put ads on it, dude. I don't think it's worth it.
Hey, Jonathan.
But basically, I think it was Nate who brought up the Green Goblin thing, and my answer basically was they know who the money makers are, and the characters who they think are going to attract the most people and make the most money are going to be in the movie longer, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's very telling when you look at all of the press stuff that I've seen so far. When they do anything involving villains, it's Alfred Molina, Jamie Foxx, and Willem Dafoe. You don't see Thomas Hayden Church or Rhys Ifan, which makes me think that we're not even going to see the human forms of either one of those characters. I bet you Lizard and Sandman are just CGI guys.
Yeah, I would bet on that too. It seems like they're focusing on Doc Ock a lot too. Every single poster I've seen is just the arms, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
to be
also
fair-
cool.
Yeah,
I was gonna say about the moneymaker thing. Willem Dafoe went on record and said that when shooting for the movie, like he had to go like I think they said like throughout like almost all the shooting, he had to wear like a drape
heading
over
to
his
the
head so
Bowery
that
to make
people
sure
didn't
Michaels
know
gets to
who
his
he
new
was
safe house.
when they came
You know, safely.
to
I wouldn't do that.
filming the movie. So they were like really keeping that under wraps until like the release of the trailer.
Yeah.
They're doing a lot of really unconventional things with the marketing for this movie. Like they're only letting the press see the first 40 minutes of this 2-hour and 30-minute movie.
Well, what's cool about the whole thing with Doc Ock is compared to like when he was first in the actual Tobey Maguire movies. I don't know how many people know this, that he actually wore the arms in the Tobey Maguire movies, and they were actually all done with puppeteers, whereas this one is all CGI. So like he doesn't have the arms, which sucks because it's like, you know, you'd want to wear them, but then it's like all the costumes back then were just so uncomfortable, you know, and nowadays everything's done with CGI. Like, I mean, look at this beautiful Spider-Man game that we're playing right now. It's all CGI. This is not graphics. This is CGI right here, obviously. But no, it's definitely these movies. I feel this movie's gonna be really good. just because like we don't even need to see it at this point. We know what's gonna happen. It's gonna be good.
Yeah, I need to see Tom go through his anime arc, dude.
Arc.
Yeah, let him get that power up real quick.
Yeah,
You know.
dude.
I need to see Spider-Man get some good gotcha rolls. You know, just all of that, man.
Okay, so before we head basically to the end and talk about No Way Home, basically, start off with the Raimi like trilogy. Like, what do you guys think? Like, what's your favorite stuff from there, like in general? Because I feel like it's like iconic, right? Like,
Yeah. Oh man.
I think the best thing to come out of the Raimi movies have been the memes over the last 20 years.
I would agree with that.
Like
I would
I'm not
agree.
even joking. Bully Maguire. Just search Bully Maguire on YouTube and spend the rest of your night laughing your butt off.
Don't do it. He might throw dirt in your eye.
Yeah, like it's just like I don't know. It's just seeing like it being like one of like the most like successful like superhero movies really is just really, like jaw dropping to me, especially like with it being Spider-Man. You know, like we're all of us here, like we're all big Spider-Man fans and stuff like that. So like having art like a superhero that we all fairly love and enjoy just like have that successful like marketing, especially like over the years. There's like now with the MCU Spider-Man, like all these other people who are like the younger audience who end up like watching I don't know, Andrew Garfield or Tom Holland, going back to those movies and like also enjoying those, and like everything that we enjoyed when we first saw it is just really just amazing that came out of that trilogy alone.
Yeah, I think for the Raimi trilogy, especially the first two, this was really a time period before we had like the spam of hero movies coming out, like multiple times per year. And so I think at that time period, we didn't really have that many expectations going into those movies as we do nowadays, right? We have like the Avengers like 4 come out, like it's gonna come out soon, right? Or I guess 5 technically. Like the next Avengers movie that comes out, we know it. We have expectations because we've seen so many superhero movies over the course of the past 10 years. But when these Raimi Spider-Man movies came out, we didn't really have that sense of expectation, right? Because there weren't that many superhero movies to really go off of at the time. So that I think is one of the reasons why it was so successful. And then number two, I feel like I love Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. I think he did a really good job. But for me, what made these movies, especially the first two, are the villains, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
Willem Dafoe and then Molina as Doc Ock. Like those two actors like
Rupert
really
Grace.
nailed their roles to a T. And I think a good villain. I mean, I'm kind of biased because I'm like a villain guy, but a good villain in a story really takes it to that next level. So I think that's what really set it apart.
You absolutely need a villain that can compete with the hero, not just on like a physical, level, but on a mental or even emotional way. Like if you go back and read the stories of Doc Ock versus Spider-Man through the comics, it's all just mind games. Like he can't overpower Spider-Man. He knows that. So he does every dirty trick in the book he can to get under Peter's skin. And what little bit of that relationship we get in the first Sam Raimi movie, I think Willem Dafoe has pulled off just a phenomenal Green Goblin.
Yeah, of course. It's like it was just like amazing, especially like Willem Dafoe just like playing like that normal person, but also being very psychotic and like like very like mentally like unstable like throughout the movie, as you like slowly see it throughout the movie. Like at first he was a normal guy, Peter's best friend's father, he loved Peter, and then now like as we go throughout the movie, you slowly see that change in mentality and stuff like that. And Willem Dafoe like really just took it home with it. Like it was just crazy, especially like he really did pull off the whole entire Green Goblin like mentality, and like and just like, including like till the end where he's like played with Peter. It was like, oh Peter, I'm fine, and then all of a sudden tried to trick Peter and almost killing him, but ended up killing himself.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
especially with Defoe's Goblin, right? You saw like a giant shift in like you saw like a full character arc in that movie for him, right? He starts off obviously a normal person, I'm somewhat of a scientist myself, blah blah blah, and then he turns into the Goblin, and you see like this slow progression. That my favorite scene in that movie is the mirror scene where he's talking to himself in the mirror, and he's like has like that dual personality going on, and that's really where we start seeing the I guess full effects of the transformation come into effect there. And then throughout the course of the movie, it just gets worse and worse. You know, he's like at the beginning, he encounters Spider-Man. He's like trying to reason with him and stuff like that. So he's kind of still a little bit human-esque right there. But then later on in the movie, it just digresses further and further from like a normal human being.
I was gonna say, like, I like the fact that you brought up that mirror scene, because as a Spider-Man fan, right? Spider-Man is supposed to be the most relatable character of any superhero. Like, you got Iron Man that shoots lasers, you got Thor that shoots thunder, and all these other characters, but he's supposed to be the most relatable superhero. So I like the fact that when the first movie came out and Willem Dafoe had that scene with the mirrors, it reminded me of myself, because sometimes I talk to myself in the mirrors too. So, but it's definitely those movies are just great. And I think really, like, when they originally casted the people for those movies, they had to like set the record for set the standard for years to come, just simply because like they knew like, oh, Spider-Man's a popular kind of superhero right now, blah blah blah, but we want this to exceed more years to come. And I think, funny enough, the original Spider-Man trilogy with Tobey Maguire is what basically made the green light for Iron Man to be made, was simply because of that. And then of course from there it went to this whole MCU phase, to where now the MCU and Marvel Studios are the biggest thing to exist in the world. So I think it's pretty cool to like kind of see that what this film has become, because it's great. I think that this is something that this movie is going to be talked about for many years, just because of that, and it's going to bring relevance to the older movies as well for people who haven't had the chance to really watch them and stuff before. So I think that it's a cool little thing for sure.
Hell yeah, I really do relate to be able to climb walls, have a superhuman strength, and shoot webs myself.
I think
Spider-Man
I
is
think
the most
it's more
relatable
like
choice.
you don't see Tony Stark, and you don't see King T'Challa, and you don't see Professor Xavier struggling to pay rent, dealing with the everyman problem.
Yeah.
I think that's really what brought Spider-Man to his cultural relevancy, is he deals with the crap that we all deal with.
Yeah.
On top of, a guy with 8 arms trying to rip his head off.
Yeah, and depression.
Yeah, because like at the end of the day, it's like, like when Spider-Man first became like a superhero, he was 16, 17. So he was still a teenager, still like trying to understand all these things, like, going through high school, prom. Like, he did a lot of things that like, we as high schoolers did at one point in our lives, as opposed to like, Captain America or, Iron Man, who were already like established adults that became superheroes. Like, Spider-Man was just basically thrown into like this whole entire world of, hey, you're now a superhero, but you also have to balance school, balance rent, you have to find a job to pay bills, all this other stuff. So that's why I feel like also going off what Tony said, is like he's the most relatable superhero, as in like not only is he out there fighting crime, but he's also trying to live a normal life as like anyone else at the end of the day.
Yeah, give me rent. Like, that's like that why I love like Mr. Dickovich so much, because it's like it was funny, but like seeing him like again, you can argue maybe he went a little too hard in Spider-Man 2, like with like how bad Peter's life was. Like, dude, the movie started, he was late, he got fired, he almost got fired from the Bugle like for the 50th time. His bike got messed up. It was like, dude, like the movie just started, like it was 5 minutes in. So it's like.
You would have thought Tom Holland Spider-Man went through enough. Nah, they said, we're gonna give the worst one to Toby, just because. Let's make you suffer.
Well, in all fairness to Sam Raimi, that is the most accurate comic book accurate Spider-Man that we have, because
yes,
the Parker luck is a thing in the comic books. He refers to it all the time. He gets one step ahead and gets pushed 5 steps back constantly. That is the cycle of Spider-Man's life. And I think the Raimi movies captured that perfectly.
Also, getting fired from the Bugle, dude, that's like are you really an employee there if you don't get fired at least once? Like, come on.
True.
I mean, technically, he was never employed by the Daily Bugle, at least in the comic books. For however many years the Daily Bugle existed before J. Jonah Jameson became mayor of New York, in the comic books, he was a freelance photographer. He was never technically on their payroll.
Yeah, and of course, like I feel like we mentioned the villains. Like I just want to give a shout out to like Sandman, because I know people like dislike Spider-Man 3 like a lot, even though I actually like it. I think Sandman's like character, like the way like Thomas Hayden Church like portrayed such a, I don't know, like a tragic like dude. Like at the end, like when he talks to Peter, when he's like, "Oh, you killed my uncle. You had a choice," and then he's just like his daughter was dying. It was a weird retcon that they did that. Like though he like accidentally shot Uncle Ben, right? But it made his character at least. I don't know. He finished that character arc of like a villain that. Again, it also reinforces the fact that like a lot of like Spider-Man's villains are people that just got dealt a bad hand, right? Like it's like things happened and like now they got to deal with it, right? Like again, it's like it reinforces a lot of those themes, and I really like Thomas Hayden's like Sandman. Venom's.
You don't like
Venom,
Topher
yeah.
Grace? Well, hold on.
Well, I don't.
That
I
TV
mean,
show?
I think they did Sandman very well. That's my favorite part of Spider-Man 3 is just the emotional stuff with Sandman.
I mean, dude, like the when he became Sandman, that sequence with CGI and like in the like accelerator or whatever the hell that was, like that scene was like genuinely beautiful. Like,
It still holds up really well.
Yeah.
I really wish that we would have just had Sandman in that movie.
yeah,
Like, if they could have devoted more screen time to developing the most developed villain in that movie a little bit more, I think he could have gone down as one of the comic book greats, at least as far as the movies are concerned.
I remember
That-
seeing that in theaters, that whole movie, and I was crying at the Sandman stuff. Although, to be honest with you, I don't even remember much about Venom in that movie, besides him, like, stabbing the bars in the ground or something, like, ringing them around him, and that's how he beat him, basically. Just with sound.
That's everything. You actually
Comic
covered
book
everything.
accurate.
I feel like they could have. I feel like they could have had a fourth villain in there. What do you guys think?
Well, so here's the thing about that. They actually were gonna make a fourth film. But
villain in that
guess-
movie.
No, I was saying fourth
Oh,
villain in that
Oh,
movie.
villain? Oh, never mind. I'm
Well, I
sorry.
mean,
We'll talk
they
about
kind
that
of they
after.
kind of did. I mean, Emo Parker was just a villain to all of us.
That is.
Nah, bro,
you're
he's
not
a
wrong.
hero. That's my
Yeah, what do you mean a
MC.
villain to us?
Dude, when
Emo
I was
Parker's
little,
my MC.
yeah, when I saw that movie as a kid, dude, I did not want him to go back. I really liked him as Bully Maguire, dude. Like, I was just like, I want to be this guy, like straight up. When I was a kid watching that in theaters, dude.
Oh
my God.
Strut down the street.
Yeah.
That
Well,
whole
you
Mars
see Lil
sequence is
Azzy.
great.
Well,
Bully
you see
Maguire
Lil
was my
Azzy's-
childhood hero. In all honesty, I aspired to be like him. I told my mom, "Get me a black suit, give me some black shoes, some black pants."
eyeliner.
Yeah, the
Some
eyeliner.
I'm like, I got a pocket full of sand. I'm ready. Let's go. I'm doing this. And yeah, I got yelled at at school the next day. So yeah, that didn't work out.
The funniest thing about that whole thing though is just like when he's dancing down the street, they really make you think like his style was like it, right? Because like all the girls he looked at, they like looked back at him like, oh my god, like it looked at him like he was like the hottest shit ever that like they've ever seen. I was like, no, you're not. Like, stop lying. Like they all looked at him like, oh my god. They looked back. I was like, relax. I was like, you're lying.
We're
right
watching
now.
a movie
Sounded a little
where a
jealous to
dude
me.
can climb walls and lift fire trucks, and the most unbelievable thing is he gets a glance back.
Well,
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that
He said yeah so confidently. Yeah.
dude, he went in that store and bought that suit in like 3 seconds, dude. Like, how's that even possible? Like, any change? Like, I'm assuming the symbiote turned into the suit. I don't know.
I mean,
But-
what if he just like grabbed it with his webs? Who's gonna stop him? Like he just
Yeah,
grabbed it from the
yeah.
back, put it on. Like he doesn't
Yeah.
care at that point.
No, he just walked in with that. Guess what? I own this now, and they just let him. They're just like, all right, cool, yeah, no, I don't want to. I don't want you to get at me. Nah, that's yours, free of charge. Like, that's what I thought. And he just walks out for free. Although I
Yeah.
don't like how he just stands there right in the middle. Like people are trying to walk around him. He's
Yeah, I look really awkward.
like he's just dancing there. It's like, listen, dude, I gotta go to work. You're about to make me late because you're standing right in the middle of the doorway. Like, move out the way. All right, we get it. You're Spider-Man. Well, actually, no one knew he was Spider-Man. Only him and MJ and Harry. And...
No, there's a couple
The people on that
that
train in
think-
Spider-Man
yeah,
2.
the-
Yeah.
Yeah,
oh
they
yeah,
knew.
that's right.
and
Yeah,
they're
the one
like,
where
It's
he
one of
we
the
almost
won't
best
know.
died.
scenes of all time.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
honestly, because like that's the thing about the Sam Raimi movies. It's like not only was like Peter Parker was like the character, but like New York City itself were also a character in itself because like
Mhm.
the city was alive. Like there's actual like things going on in between, like when Spider-Man was zipping around and stuff like that. And that train scene really showed it because like at that point, anyone in that bus, and I mean bus train, could have like been like, oh, snap a shoot, like snap a picture. I know Spider-Man's identity, but then they were like, oh, he's just a kid, blah blah blah, and they're just like, yeah, no, we're not gonna tell anyone. It's like your secret is safe with us because they knew like his identity got out. Like that's it, he's done.
No,
And
I feel like
so
somebody snapped a photo. They're like, yeah, I guess that someone's dirty little secret. They're like, ha, I got a picture of Spider-Man. I know who he
If
is.
that
And
happened
I-
these days, they'll pull out their phone and take a selfie with them and
No,
post it
so-
all over Instagram.
Well, one thing I gotta remember
He
is
sold it on eBay. I bet you he sold that picture on eBay. That guy that took a picture of Tobey Maguire. He's like, yeah, I just made $1 million. Matter of fact, no, he made $25,000 because that's what No Way Home tickets are going for right now, apparently on eBay, which is kind of crazy.
you gotta keep in mind too is that wouldn't really work back then. There was a whole comic plot line when Doc Ock swapped bodies. It's like I have no idea who the fuck this is, because like you get a picture of Spider-Man and it's like cool. Anybody know who this is? And nobody's gonna know. Like it's because there's no social media back then, so show it to your friends and family. Like, hey, do you know this 140p image of a dude?
Yeah, which is again
Let's talk about
reinforced.
the ticket prices real quick. Right, real quick. How you gonna sell a ticket for $25,000 when the person has to be in your area for it to even be valuable at all?
And at a
Dude,
certain time.
there's people who flew to other countries to watch it earlier. So I mean, people will do stupid things.
Listen, if you got $25,000 to spend on one single ticket, you got stupid money. You're flying out.
That is
We
a
already
good
know
point.
what you're doing.
Yeah.
Well, you're just flying out the theater, bro.
Yeah.
At
If
that
you
point-
confidently buy a $25,000 ticket, bro, you're good. You're chilling, man. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
you
not gonna
got
tell
you got
not to do
money.
it.
You
Yeah.
got
So-
something out of your grandmother's will. We all know. We all know. You got
Bringing
something
it-
out of there.
Bringing it back to the Raimi trilogy for a second. For the longest time, Spider-Man 2 was considered like the pinnacle of comic book movies. Like it was considered, easily like a top 5 film. I guess
always
my
liked the
question,
first one better.
and I'll even throw this out to chat in a poll. Is Spider-Man 2 still a top 5 comic book movie?
Yes.
I would say it's
Yeah.
one.
Yes.
For me.
For me, I've always liked the first one more.
yeah.
And didn't really care for 2 as much as I did the first one.
It's really good, bro. But I'm gonna be this is gonna be an unpopular take, but I feel like I went back and I watched them recently,
Mhm.
and there's a lot of parts that were kind of like hard to watch. There was kind of like, damn, like this kind of aged. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie, like it aged, and I feel like I have a lot of friends that are kind of like a little bit blinded by the nostalgia a little bit. Like they won't take they just swear that the first 2 at the very least have no flaws like at all. But I'm like, damn, like I don't know. For me, because I like them, I still love them. I grew up with them. When I was a kid, I didn't care about any flaws. I didn't care about like any of that. So, I was just like, it's Spider-Man. I love Spider-Man. I love Tobey Maguire. I love the villains, right? I think I agree with Goresh on that aspect. Is that the villains were actually the best part for me. That's like, even like looking back when I went and rewatched, I was just like, damn, yeah. In the first 2 movies, the villains were absolutely phenomenal. But
Yes.
there was, dude, there was some of the action scenes, like all the dialogue was absolutely amazing or solid. But there's like sometimes where it was just like so like monotone, or it was just the action scenes were so like kind of like meh to me.
Bro,
that's just like
you're just asking to get fired by Goresh right now, dude.
yeah.
In all
Well,
honesty.
I just remember seeing.
He's signing the papers right now to get you out of here. Like, I hear the pen. I hear the pen.
I just remember going to the theater. I said this a million times before, but Spider-Man 2 was the only movie I saw in theaters 3 times. And I remember for the first time seeing that train fight scene, and I was like absolutely like dumbfounded by what I was watching, because that was like we never saw stuff like that ever. That was like the first time we really saw a fight scene to that level in any movie. I don't care if you're watching like Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, like that was the best fight scene I've ever seen in any movie up until that point. So that was what really got me. Obviously, it wasn't the only good thing about the movie. There was a lot of other stuff that I had going for it too, but that was really what had me like, okay, well, this is a different level.
I remember this is something that like I will always cherish. So back in the day, you know, back in the good days of what year are we in? Okay, so early 2000s. I had to remember, bro. Listen, timelines are weird. Anyways, so I remember going to the theater and with my mom. It was me. I think it was just me because my brother was in school, and my mom took me to go see Spider-Man 2 in the theaters. And so I just remember like sitting in that chair, you know, whatever age I was, because ages are hard to remember too. And I was just in awe by you know Doc Ock, like what that one scene in the hospital bed. Like obviously Sam Raimi, he's known for horror films, and at the time I didn't know that. I just thought, oh, okay, cool. This guy has 4 mechanical arms, you know, no big deal. And then all of a sudden I see that scene, and I remember my jaw dropping. I just didn't say a word for like 5 minutes to my mom, and I'm sitting there and I'm watching this. He's just murdering people for free. I'm like, they're trying to help you. Why are you murdering them? And so I just remember like that experience being like one of the good experiences with my mom, just seeing this movie, because like it's so iconic. Like you know, everybody else said, the villains are what make the movies to me. And the fact that Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin, I mean, right now I can't see anybody else playing Green Goblin perfectly. Like we have, what's his name that I can't remember. He's not important, from Amazing Spider-Man. You know, his Green Goblin was just, to me, horrible. But Willem Dafoe and you know, Alfred, what's his name? I don't know why I'm thinking
Alfred Molina.
Oh, okay, so I was right. I was about to say like Alfred, like that doesn't sound right, but no, it is right. No, both of them did their, you know, their parts amazingly. You know, I definitely think that with the second movie, you know, I can't see anybody else playing these characters at all. Like as much as you would think like, oh, this actor will do a great job playing this role, or this guy, and most people just go by, you know, looks. They don't think about like the skill and stuff like that, which, you know, is a big problem in movie cinematic worlds. But I definitely think that with Spider-Man 2, Alfred Molina, he just did fantastic with that role.
I think with the Spider-Man series in general, like I think what's, because I talked to Azig about this beforehand, like in a different like context, but I mentioned how important relationships are with Spider-Man. Like that's such an important thing. Like it's not just Peter, right? Because the thing about Spider-Man is like everything he does, it connects back to him usually. So it's like either the villain is directly tied to him, or like a relationship like puts someone in danger. So like to me, the relationships were, I think probably with mainly with MJ, I think were probably some of the weakest, at least to me. But I think Aunt May like and Uncle Ben were probably like one of the strongest versions of like that like story. Because I remember in Spider-Man 2 when, you know, he lost his powers and he decided to finally tell Aunt May about what happened that night. And he was just like, he told her, and then Aunt May like just like stopped. She just like literally walked out and went to like her room because she like needed to process what he told her. And then she comes back later and she tells him like, you know, it's like it's more than like about the past, like it's about like you and stuff like that. And I think it's a really like nice message, and like I think a lot of the little moments from the Sam Raimi trilogy as well fit really well, because I love the moment when like she's struggling for money, but because it was Peter's birthday, she still gave him $20, right? Like I think like that's such a sweet moment that like I really appreciate, because like it makes it feel like real, at least that connection.
Yeah,
So,
I agree.
I feel like they haven't been able to like to at least get much of that, and I feel like when we talk about the Amazing Spider-Man, like I think that movie does relationships like probably the best in my opinion.
Oh, yes, dude. And you know, like how Barry's saying, we were talking about this in other contexts, but dude, I really did like Andrew a lot. Like I know he gets a lot of hate, but to this day, one of my favorite scenes of Spider-Man is when like New York is just lining up those cranes, right? They're the little cranes so he could have a clear path to Oscorp Tower. Like that scene gives me chills, bro. I loved that.
It reminds me of from Spider-Man 1, right, where he's holding the, you know, the thing with the kids in it, and he's holding MJ as well, and they just start throwing cans at him. He's like, "You mess with one of us, you mess with all of us," and they just started throwing cans and like bread and like a bunch of just a bunch of random shit at Goblin.
bread.
Like,
The powerful bread.
Yes,
like
some bread with mayo.
again, like those moments, I think is like what makes those like, I guess I think Spider-Man moments like stand out more in those movies, and I think that's what makes me love those movies more and more is because like the more I watch them, like wow, there's a lot of like small moments that make Spider-Man overall and Peter better just by connection. So what do you guys think about MJ? I feel like we didn't even talk about her.
I didn't like
hated
her. I didn't like
She's
her,
the worst
bro.
character.
Kirsten
Throw her
Dunst
away.
is the worst representation of Mary Jane. I mean,
We're allowed to
She-
curse on here, right?
Yeah, you can curse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
she was a bitch. I hated her.
okay,
Wow.
yeah. So that's a prime example of what I was talking about. Like Mary Jane in the comic books, even when she was younger and in her party girl state, she was never outwardly cruel to Peter, ever. You know,
Mm.
and Mary Jane, Kirsten Dunst, Mary Jane just was mean. You
She
know?
was a bully, man.
She
I
was
think she was more of a
manipulating
bully
the-
than Bully
yeah.
Maguire.
She was, dude.
She's
She was
like,
playing with
it's
so many
me and the
feelings.
city. Well, obviously the city. You just happen to live in it. Like I don't know what you want me to tell you. She's like, and first of all, she's the worst. Let's talk about it, right? She was gonna marry this dude. She was all set up, lined up to marry this guy. She leaves him to go with Peter, and then in the next movie, she breaks up with Peter as he's about to propose. Like she is just a spoiled bitch, man. It's the way, it's the way that I don't like her. You know what? I'm gonna say this too. She should have died instead of Harry Osborn.
Ooh.
I agree with
I
that.
agree.
I agree. That actually, dude, that's not even. Oh my god, bro, that's 100%
Yeah,
should
they
happen.
killed Harry just as he got cool.
Yeah, like the moment he started to be like, all right, cool, I have this glider, I have these bombs, let's do this, and they kill him off. Like, honestly, I'm gonna be outlandish as hell with this. Peter should have pushed her off of that building.
I
He should have
agree.
kicked her off.
Even as a kid, I absolutely despised her. Like,
Dude,
she's
I
just
had
the
soda
most
in my mouth.
evil
Don't do that
bitch,
shit.
dude.
Dude, I
I'm
still
I'm glad we can all agree that we all hate that bitch.
Cause like I'll try like a little bit of defending. Like at least in Spider-Man 3, he was kind of a dick like the entire movie because he was getting an ego, but she was jealous of him. Like every time she saw like his posters and stuff, she like had like a very like begrudged face because like her acting career was not panning out. But at the same
he earned
time,
it.
oh yeah.
He earned being a dick. Let him be
Yeah,
a dick
she
for
was-
Well,
she was
I don't-
just- She was just.
Well, I don't
She
think
was
he
a petty
earned
character.
taking. Yeah, I don't think he earned like doing like the kiss that they did like to Gwen like out of nowhere. Like that definitely was like okay, Peter. Like you know I don't know if
That was
that-
also a huge
yeah.
misstep on Peter's part. That was the wrong call to make on his part, and he is completely responsible for the bullshit that came into his life because of it.
Another thing too that's kind of funny like about it is just again I never understood like that dude seems so cool like the astronaut J. Jonah's son, and I'm surprised like Jameson never like fired his ass. The fact that like the girl that was with his son just straight up like left him at the altar, wasted his money, and then went to the fucking photographer that that works for him. Like surprised he just fired him like after that.
Yeah, like, listen, that's why I say she's the worst MJ, because she was just too spoiled. When things didn't go her way, she's like, you know what? I'm about to just act different. You know, like, I don't, man, God, you know, just, screw
And she
you, MJ.
faced no long-lasting consequences for her actions. She got put in dangerous situations, yes, but Peter always came in and saved her ass. She never once faced actual consequences for being the bitch that she was.
I don't think she ever said thank you when he saved her. That's how you know.
I mean, she did stick her tongue down his throat, so that kind of counts, right?
No. Listen, look, that's at that point, she's got to say the actual words thank you. Let's just be completely honest. You can kiss anybody you want all day long. If you don't say the word thank you for saving me, nah, you're out of here. You're going to jail. I don't know why, but you're going to jail.
I agree with you
I'll put you
1,000%.
back in the situation that we just saved you from. You're like, oh, you didn't say thank you. All right, cool. All right, guys, go back to robbing her.
Yeah. Dude,
Yeah.
yeah, honestly though, like I think they really learned from their mistakes because Emma Stone, I think she was fantastic as Gwen, and even
Yes.
now Zendaya, I love Zendaya's character.
Yes.
Her like what was MJ, but it's like separate. It's like Michelle Jones,
Michelle.
right?
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
hmm Yeah, so I love both of those actors, especially in their own role in their Spider-Man universe. So
I
I
just
definitely
love
do think they-
Zendaya as well, but I wish they would have named her either Liz Allen or Betty Brant or Carly, whatever the crap her name was from when Spider-Man was dating after One More Day.
iCarly?
Carly the cop. I can't remember her last name, but anyway, like I just wish they would have made it a different character other than knock off Mary Jane, because it would have been interesting to see each film franchise explore his relationship with a different character that he actually had a relationship in the comics. What if Zendaya was Felicia Hardy?
Zendaya.
Or Zendaya. Sorry.
No, she's not
What if
Gwen
Zendaya-
Stacy. Say the name right.
No. What if she was Felicia Hardy?
oh,
No.
Zendaya was.
Yeah. What if she was? Wouldn't that have been a much
Ooh.
more interesting plot point or future plot point?
Yeah, that would have been pretty crazy. Didn't they introduce that character in the Amazing Spider-Man in the second?
Yes,
one?
they did.
She was, yeah.
Yes.
Felicity
Okay.
Jones was her, yeah.
Yeah, he was like the assistant, or she was the assistant, right?
For Harry, yeah.
I remember that, but nothing ever really came out of it.
Well, yeah, because that one has a whole, like, web, no pun intended, but a web of, like, bullshit around it, so...
Yeah.
Thank you, PD. Carly Cooper.
Speaking of Harry, though, it's like let's have to talk about how like I honestly really enjoy James Franco's Harry Osborn in the Sam Raimi trilogy as well.
It
Like,
was
he
way
did
better than Day
phenomenal.
Dawn.
Yeah,
Yep.
he did phenomenal because it felt like they had that whole entire chemistry, like they were actual childhood best friends, and they really
Mhm.
played it off in the Sam Raimi trilogy, between Peter and Harry, and then like after the events of Spider-Man 1, where Harry just like completely despises Spider-Man for killing his father, not knowing that his father was the actual Green Goblin until later on, and just like how he's like best friends with Peter, and Peter has to deal with like, hey Harry, you're my best friend, but you also hate me at the same time, where he has to juggle that like constantly.
It's always on his
But-
conscience, dude, because he also kind of like almost kept that promise to Harry's dad, right? When at the very end of the first Spider-Man movie, he tells him, like, he snaps back, and
Don't
he's
tell
like,
Harry. He just
Yeah,
plops on
it's-
his and dies.
It was kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, kind of a funny scene right there. But he does tell him, and I think he like honored that to an extent, right? He completely honors it because he's not even the one to tell him, like, I didn't do this.
Yeah, like Harry finds out by himself when he accidentally stumbles upon his like dad's stuff. He actually finds out.
No,
like,
the butler mentions that when he had his suspicions, like, no, I cleaned your father's wounds, and yeah, his own glider killed him.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Well, hold
I
on.
see
To be
him. I
fair,
see
though,
Chad.
right? How would you feel, right, if some dude in a unitard just carried your dead father in his arms, laid him on the bed? Do you think that his actions were justice or good at that point? Because let's face it, I honestly, I wouldn't know what to think. Like, yeah, this guy that wants to be a spider, that, whatever, is carrying my dead father's corpse inside the house. Like, at that point,
And on
You
top
know-
of that, the largest media source in your area has been claiming nonstop that this guy's a menace. I mean,
Yeah, he got
I
gaslit.
see where that argument comes from.
He got gaslit by the Daily Bugle, dude. That's
pretty much,
Unlucky, dude.
pretty freaking much, yeah.
Honestly. Now,
My favorite thing is someone mentioned in chat, I think it was Arrow Forever. Yeah, Bernard. What do you guys think about like the fact that it took him like 85 years to tell like Harry about it? Like it was like oh, okay, the climax of Spider-Man 3 is happening. He just waddles in. The night I cleaned your father's wounds, they were from his own glider. And it's like you gotta tell him that like at the
Put the
beginning.
butler
Told him that at the end of the first movie instead of waiting until the middle of the third one.
Okay, but to
Yeah,
be fair, how do you tell your kid, like, yeah, your dad was probably a supervillain?
Yeah, but I mean, he didn't
just
even like
kind of
respond
do it.
Well, hold
either.
on.
He just
Like this butler has to realize that Harry's going absolutely obsessive over Spider-Man, right? So when he sees that starting, you know, as a decent human being, wouldn't you say to him, "Hey, man, I think you might be directing your anger in the wrong direction here."
Well, okay,
You
but
know, especially if you have
hating,
evidence.
yeah, but what's better, hating like
Well,
having a kid hate his father or hate some random dude he would probably never meet? Like him knowing Peter Parker as Spider-Man and knowing Peter Parker is such an unlikely thing. It'd be better just let him kind of hate Spider-Man than feel betrayed by his own father for the rest of his life.
No, I
I
thought
don't
the
know.
Butler
I
was
think
okay
I
with
think the
MJ.
truth is always the better option.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's the naivety in me, but like, even if it's a bad thing, you should always tell the truth because eventually it's going to come back and bite you.
Like,
You know-
if his dad was like incarcerated, sure, but and it's not like a normal murder. Like his dad had pumpkin bombs and like blew up a party where he was ending. Like it's not like a normal like, hey, honey, your dad kind of ran someone over. He's going to jail for a couple years. It's more like, hey, Bucko, your dad is a terrorist.
Well, yeah, straight up. I
You know
mean,
what? You know what? I'm just gonna say this, right? I blame the butler for Harry dying.
straight up,
Yeah.
I agree. It's Butler's fault.
What were you gonna
Because
say,
it's
Griff? Hold up, Tony. Hold up.
well, I
Griff
was
is
just gonna say like, because the only evidence that they have was that he died from his own glider. Can't Spider-Man just like throw the glider at him and kill him? Like I don't understand.
Yeah.
That makes him like the one who killed himself.
Yeah, he just comes back at the end of the movie. He's just like, yeah, we're best buddies now, Peter. It's like he just accepts that his father killed himself. Like he's like nothing. Like I don't know, but it was just still funny. But go ahead, Tony.
No, I was gonna say because like the butler the butler is the glider. Oh my god. No, the butler definitely it's his fault. Like he should have just said something from the beginning. He's like, oh yeah, by the way, your dad killed himself. It wasn't Spider-Man. If he said that, Harry would have still been alive. And you know what? The butler could go right to the clanker with MJ at this point. They could become best friends for all I care. But it's the butler's fault. Harry should have still been around.
We're also under the assumption that Spider-Man wouldn't have killed the Green Goblin if he had the chance to at the end of that first movie, right? It probably would have.
Maybe if there's some dirt in his eye, probably.
I think he was probably done with like him, maybe until like he only reacted because like he was gonna get stabbed right from the glider.
Well, no, I'm saying before he took his mask off, like if he had a chance to kill him, he probably would have done it, right?
Oh, probably, yeah. I think James Franco does have like my favorite like dialogue, and because like what was it, in Spider-Man 2 after the thing blew up the reactor, like he was like, oh like sir, but Spider-Man saved your life. He humiliated me by touching me. Like I was like, okay, dude. Like, he's so he puts on his shades and walks away. Like he's so cringe.
He was
That's
great.
That's a fire moment.
It was so great, dude. Yeah, I think that's honestly where they really, like, they set the whole Andrew universe up for failure. Is that they introduced Harry in the second film, dude, and you led me to believe. They even say like how much of an age gap or how much years there was in between them actually seeing each other. It was like 8 years or something like that. And you want me to believe that they're best buddies? I don't even want to be friends with the dude. Like I don't know. Like he wasn't likable for me. He wasn't like even the stuff that he was going through. Like I understand. Like they lead off the movie with it, right, where they actually introduce the Osborn family and like what they're dealing with. But he just wasn't likable, man. Like he wasn't likable, and it doesn't even feel like Andrew wanted to be like his friend necessarily. I didn't believe that they were friends. Like it didn't feel like it. So
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I got kind of the feeling like he could have been likable a long time ago. Like they were friends then, but they don't really know each other now. And yeah, there was no charisma from Dane DeHaan.
No.
Like, and then when he became the Goblin in those movies, it went from no charisma to really cheesy villain acting.
Just all the charisma in one go. It's like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah. One moment he's an emo kid, just inherited a bunch of money. Then the next moment it's like he drank a G Fuel and he's like, all right, listen up. We're gonna go ahead and just attack Spider-Man. I don't know. People say it looks like truth, but I don't know. I don't want to believe it.
That's the one thing too about like Harry Osborn and the Sam Raimi as opposed to the Amazing Spider-Man. It's like you saw Harry Osborn out the get-go in the Sam Raimi and like you saw him as a normal person. You didn't see him as this like stuck up kid who's like completely rich and stuff like that. No, it's like he had a personality. Like, he was like he acted like a regular person, and like when it comes to the Amazing Spider-Man one, he didn't act like that at all. Like he just basically like was like daddy money. Like this is my dad's money, blah blah blah. As opposed to James Franco, who was like humble as a person, like
Do you think a lot of that comes from the fact that we already met Harry in the first set of movies? So
Yeah.
they didn't really have a lot to do with the character in the second set of movies.
Yeah. I mean, I will say that I think my favorite scene in Spider-Man 3 was the fight scene at his house. Because like he slowly, like the Harry that we knew from Spider-Man 1 slowly like transformed again, sort of like into this character you really didn't like. And so to see Spider-Man just like beat the crap out of him in the third movie was really satisfying. And the way that he did it too, like didn't even care, because that was during his phase of him being like quote unquote evil Spider-Man, right?
Bully Maguire.
I love that scene so much. Yeah.
Yeah, especially because he like bitch slaps him in the second movie, like in the like he just like he's like, hey buddy, because he got drunk, and he just starts slapping Peter like 18 times in the face. I was like, dude, like it's your best friend. He just like, yeah, you're taking pictures of Spider-Man, slap. I was like, okay, I'm like, damn. But
Oh my god.
anything else about the Sam Raimi stuff? Personally, or
I
not?
like the fact. You know what? I'm just gonna say this. We didn't bring her up, but what's I forget the guy, but he ran the apartment complex that Peter was in.
Mr.
He was
Dickovich.
shot- Yeah, Mr. Dickovich. He should have got with his daughter. I feel like that would have been way better instead of being stuck with MJ. Like, Peter's living his best life, talking to somebody on the phone. She's handing him cookies, giving him all the love. That's who I feel like he should end up with. I feel like at that point, MJ was just not worth it. She was giving him all the love in the world, and he just sat there ignoring it. So Peter, I'm disappointed. I don't know, but yeah, like no, like she was honestly, I would have liked to see him get with her and just make MJ a little bit jealous. That would have been pretty cool.
They could have just got together. No need for jealousy. Just he would have had a happy life with her. Honestly, bro, she was like baking, bro, all the time.
Yeah,
like,
she made him like food all the time and everything. Like,
I need
Yeah,
a woman
dude.
like that.
she was a W. Like honestly, bro, way over. Like definitely her over MJ.
Realized I am the woman like that in my relationship. I'm cooking all the time for my wife.
Yeah, better tell your wife to watch
It's
out.
me,
I'll
I'm
wipe
the
you up.
wife.
Yeah, being married must be nice, huh?
you were married at a point. Anyway,
I'm sorry, I
Hey,
forgot.
we don't talk about that. We talk about Anyways, back to Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Spider-Man.
but
So-
back to Spider-Man. Or go ahead.
Just since we're kind of comparing characters, I was wondering what you guys think of our different Aunt Mays throughout the history of Spider-Man.
Sam Raimi is the best one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my favorite one.
honestly.
But I love the Andrew Garfield one too. The Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah, Forrest Gump's
For
mom.
me-
Yeah.
For me, it was Tom Holland's been my favorite just because I just like Tom Holland. But after rewatching the Amazing Spider-Mans recently, I don't know. I really just love those movies. I know everyone hates them and everything, but after rewatching them as I got older, they're up there for me, man. I don't know. I
You
think
mean
it might be
Andrew's Spider-Man movies?
Yes, I think.
See, I don't
might
hate the
be-
first one. I don't even really hate the second one because I know about all the behind-the-scenes crap that went on with Sony trying to shove all this stuff in and not letting Mark Webb do Mark Webb's thing.
Yeah.
But even for as disjointed as that movie was, it wasn't necessarily bad. It was just badly put together.
I definitely remember when we were talking about relationships and it came to Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. I think that the relationships that he kept were so, important. However, the one relationship he couldn't keep alive was his girlfriend's. I'm sorry. I had to say it the one time.
bro.
I had to say it the one time. I'm sorry. I was holding back for so long.
Dude, like,
Like-
man, like the thing, like, all right, so we're going into Amazing Spider-Man. Like, bar none, I think Andrew and Emma Stone's chemistry is the best, like, on-screen like relationship with Spider-Man, like, in all the movies.
Oh, yes. Is
But
that
so
admittedly,
bad.
they had an advantage because at the time they were an actual couple.
And I think it also helps that they're actually like really good actors.
And they actually have charisma.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think it's even remotely close. It's by far them. Like, I
They're
don't know how
so
you
good.
could. I don't know how you could say any of the other ones are even remotely close to them.
Yeah, even Chad agrees. Let's see, easily.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, second place. I think we're all going to agree is Tom and Zendaya.
Yeah, I love them too, man. I love Tom and Zendaya. Like they're close. Like it's not a huge gap between them in my book, at least.
For me, it's just like the actual like acting that they put like they displayed in those movies. Like Amazing Spider-Man 2 and even 1. Like again, you can complain about the movies all you want, but like Andrew's like turmoil and like the emotional distress that dude was going through in those movies, like you felt it because like again they were dating at the time, so that definitely helps. But like again, I just don't know, man. Like how he sold. Like I felt like when he was in pain, dude. Like his
dude,
emotions.
I felt like I lost her, bro. Like that's how good it was. Yeah, man.
Which is a lot. Well, exactly what a lot of people said when that comic book came out. When I think it was Amazing Spider-Man number 121 when they killed Gwen Stacy.
Yeah.
People said that they felt a loss. That's actually credited as being like the end of the golden era of comic books or something like that. It's like that was the turning point for the industry, because if somebody that close to your hero can die, nobody's safe from here on out. Just change the entire industry with one book.
Yep.
I just I know we're on the Amazing Spider-Man right now, but I just remembered a scene from Tobey's Spider-Man that taken out of context is undoubtedly pretty funny. And that's with what?
No, keep going. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say for Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, the first one. I don't know why I like this scene, and it may seem a bit messed up, but when Aunt May's praying in the bedroom and Green Goblin shows up, I think the most out of context like thing that makes me laugh is she's praying. And all of a sudden, boom, the side of her house is gone. There's this Green Goblin just sitting there. Like, I don't know why I love that. Like, it may be me being a horrible person, but just out of context is like, what? Like, that's just cinema.
Well, it's because like she was like praying, and she was like, and deliver us, and then he just blows up the thing and goes like, finish it, and she's like, from evil.
So was he just on the other side of the window, like, okay, she's getting to the part. No.
Oh my god, dude.
Just out of context.
That scene's been memed so much.
I love it. I watch every meme that I see of it. I watch fully. I give it the time of day, because you will never see stuff like that again and laugh at it, because it's not meant to be serious. I mean, it's meant to be serious, but it's like, it's stupid. It's so stupid.
It's movie serious. It's unrealistically serious.
Yeah, but it's like, why he just yells at her? He's like, just say it, finish it. It's like you can't tell me you did not laugh at that. Like, why would you want someone to finish the words, deliver us from evil? Like, come on. Like, it's, oh god, I want to watch this movie now.
Yeah, the OG trilogy definitely got the most laughs out of me. I'm not gonna lie, especially rewatching it now. So.
But the one good thing also of the Amazing Spider-Man, though, going back to it, is just the swinging scenes, like just
the actual effects.
On.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, having that extra time for the CGI was really helpful in that.
Yeah, the Amazing Spider-Man's have by far the best swinging scenes.
Best effects too, dude, you can see like when like the beginning of Amazing Spider-Man 2. When he's skydiving from like I don't know how he got that high, but I guess he just jumped off a building. But like you can see the ripple in the costumes, like just with the wind, and it's like kind of crazy. Like 2014 CG looks a lot better, and 2012 CG looks a lot better than a lot of stuff we have today.
I actually do have a problem with that scene, specifically with the rippling.
Uh-oh.
The man wears a skin tight costume. Why is
got
there
extra-
rippling? Did
He's just
our boy
fat.
lose some weight over the summer?
He's just fat.
I mean, I feel like I don't think it's. I mean, it's skin tight to the. I guess, but I feel like there was always like enough like loose part of the suit. Like it never.
Oh,
like
yeah,
it's
if there
not.
wasn't, you just die. You just suffer.
Yeah, I feel like he always because like even like Tom Holland's like suit is like the one that like sucks up, right, or whatever, like that.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
You also have to realize too. It's like even if it's skin tight, when you're going through like a force of like a wind that much, there's gonna tend to be rippling like effect like on your body because like like how your body's like reacting. It's like the like just like your muscles are just like feeling like the tension and stuff like that. So there's obviously gonna be ripples and stuff like that.
I feel like the crazy thing is too is that what if the force of him falling is just that strong that it's actually moving his skin? Because I mean, let's be honest. Have any of us tried jumping off the top of a building before?
Yeah.
We
I
know
do.
I have.
what? Like, let's be completely honest.
That's a dark story I will not tell on stream, but I have, yeah.
Alrighty.
I bungee jumped.
One thing I want to like just like I want to switch it to Garage because like I feel like we've always like heard about your Sam Raimi like opinions, but we've never at least for me I've never really heard you talk about like the Amazing Spider-Man like all that much. Like,
I honestly haven't rewatched them since they first came out, so I don't really have like that clear of a I guess memory of how they were. But I remember walking out of the theaters and I thought they were good. Like I'm not really that picky of a person. Especially for movies, and a movie has to be really, really bad for me to like not like the movie.
Like Evolution?
Yeah, like really, really bad for like Evolution, yeah. But I didn't think the movies were bad at all. Like even the second one, I like enjoyed it for what it was. I didn't think it was a masterpiece. I didn't think it was like a generation shaping like work of art or anything like that. But it was enjoyable to watch it. So I thought they were fine. But for me, the nostalgia factor will never like get overtaken by anything except for the first three movies for the Raimi trilogy. So like even if let's just say for example this upcoming one, the No Way Home movie becomes like bar none the best Spider-Man movie ever. For me, it will never be better than the second one, Sam Raimi #2, just because it's nostalgia, and it will never be better than that. So. That's
At least
just
you
how
admit
it.
it.
yeah, and that's not a bad thing too because people always say like, oh, you just like my problem with people like arguing about like nostalgia is when they think like they surmise it for you like that's the only reason, but like it could be one of the reasons and that's completely valid. Like I hate when people say you can't have nostalgia for something. It's like the experience you had like with Spider-Man like 1 through 3, specifically 2 I guess the most, but like it's not gonna like I agree with you, like it's not gonna be overtaken by like No Way Home like all of a sudden, right? Like it's not like at all. Like you probably like love the movie, but it's like in your history, like it doesn't mean the same thing, right? Which is different. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. That's fair. Because I was mentioning the nostalgia earlier too, and I think that's definitely is still a good point. Yeah, you definitely are. Garesh is always valid, but I think the Sam Raimi trilogy and even the what is it? What are we calling it for Andrews? What is it? Duology?
It's a duology. Yeah, it's 2.
Yeah.
Whatever.
A duet.
I think they really hammer home the point that Spider-Man's life, his real life, it sucks. Like I remember there was this one discussion that I saw on TikTok. It was just like, it was basically, you get to be Spider-Man, but you'll die in 6 months. Like, will you still do it? Will you still do it? And then this guy responds to it, and he's just like, everyone. If you say yes, then you're like he's basically just like shitting on them. He's just like Spider-Man's life sucks, and he goes into like all the movies. He's just like, he's like squaring up with his best friend. In the third one, he like loses his best friend. His girl's cheating on him. Even in the Andrew Garfield ones, the love of his life dies. Like Spider-Man's life sucks. You don't want to be Spider-Man, and you only get 6 months to live, and your life is gonna suck. You do not want to be him.
Like here, have this crap cake, and then we're gonna put like a whole pile of just like piss frosting on top of it, just to make it good for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's the thing, though, right? Your life could suck, but you get to be Spider-Man. Like, you know how cool that would be? Listen,
not for the people
I think
around you.
Well,
it ain't cool for the people around
The
you.
question is, Do you get to be Spider-Man or do you get his powers? There's a very distinct difference because if you get to be Spider-Man, then I would hope along with that transformation you take on that sense of responsibility that he has, because then you have the real Spider-Man experience. If it's just I'm going to give you your Spider-Man, I'm going to give you Spider-Man's powers, then it kind of defeats the purpose because you don't really live Spider-Man's life at that point.
See, here's the thing, though. When someone mentioned that what not good around for the people around you, guess what? This isn't about them. This is about me. I'm Spider-Man. You got to deal with it.
Damn, okay. Oh, so how are they gonna deal with getting murdered by a random supervillain that you fought? What do you mean deal with it?
Just deal with it.
Listen. Look, you're dying, but guess what? At the end of the day, I'm still Spider-Man. Do I gotta save you? It depends.
So, don't want you as a superhero. Anyway.
Yeah, honestly. After hearing that, I'm gonna pass.
But shifting from back to the Amazing Spider-Man, because like we really, I feel like we haven't like touched on it too much. We've been like going a little bit everywhere with it. But like, what are some of your favorite things? Because like Amazing Spider-Man 2 has like my favorite Spider-Man moment, all like in every single like Spider-Man live action film, which was when these kids were bullying this one little geeky kid who made like a turbine in class. So like 6 kids, and they were bullying him, and Spider-Man, cuts him off, and he stops them, and they run away, and then he basically picks up the little turbine, fixes it. Then he asks the kid like, "You built this turbine?" And like the kid, and he's like, "No way." And the kid's like, "Yeah, I built it or whatever." And he fixes it for him, and then he's like, "You want me to walk you home?" And then he walks the kid home, and like he's like, "Oh, what's your name?" He's like, "Oh, George." And he's like, "My name's Spider-Man." Like, I feel like that was like, that's such a pinnacle, like Spider-Man moment, and I know in a movie that I feel like everyone like hates. Like, it's
my favorite thing.
Wait, people hated that?
No, I said they did the movie.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
go ahead, Garash, because you were gonna say something.
I was gonna say my favorite thing about those movies. I remember vividly, is like the fight scenes. Not like against the main villain, but like when he's like fighting like normal like robbers or whatever, like thugs. Like the comic-y joke that he makes. Like I think he does that the best. The Andrew Garfield the little quips that he does. That like no one does it better than him. Like he did a really good job at that.
Oh no, you found my mortal weakness. Small knives.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Especially like in the car thief in the first movie, where he's just like, you see this car thief like breaking in his car, and he's about to like drive off, and like you see Andrew Garfield just like chilling in the back seat, and this guy's like hot wiring, and he goes like, he starts coughing like, ahem. The guy goes, "Are you a cop?" And he goes, "Do I look like a cop?"
Yeah,
that's like my favorite scene. It's so funny.
Yeah.
I think one of my favorite scenes from there, and I like fight scenes, but the fact that Stan Lee's the librarian and he's listening to music while Spider-Man.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
Library. I think that's like one of the most greatest things ever. It's the most like poetic music, but all you see is Spider-Man punching an overgrown man-lizard hybrid right in the face as books are flying everywhere, and Stan Lee's just chilling. He's like, "Oh, I love this song," and it's just Spider-Man kicking a lizard's ass in the background. It's like those moments like make me like Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. However, I do not like his Peter Parker. Personally, like, he's a great Spider-Man. He actually has the best Spider-Man moments compared to Toby and compared to Tom, because like he makes being Spider-Man more, I want to say, believable.
Yeah,
just because of what he does. But his Peter, I'm not the biggest fan of his Peter. Like, I understand a lot of people like
too cool.
His Peter's too emo for me, but I understand a lot of people like his Peter, and I understand that those same people actually hate his Spider-Man, which is so weird. But he definitely has the best city swinging moments in all of the Spider-Man movies,
100%.
Without a doubt. It just makes it. He just gives light to that lost arc, and it sucks that he could not get that third movie. But I mean, luckily with No Way Home, where he's probably gonna get that moment to shine. So,
yeah, the worst kept secret ever. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Got
since
out?
you guys are already kind of talking about it, I read somewhere, and I generally agree with this statement, that Tobey was the best Peter Parker, Andrew was the best Spider-Man, and Tom is kind of like a hybrid of the two.
Tom is just an intern.
I'm so sick
I
of
love
hearing that
Tom.
because every time the Spider-Man arguments come up on Twitter, it's that same exact thing copy pasted
But isn't it?
20,000 fucking times,
But
and no one
doesn't
can
that just prove
explain to
that
you
most
why.
people?
No, it doesn't. Because
Do you
people
want me to
try to get
explain to you?
clout.
Do you want
They
me?
don't
Do you
know
want
what
me
they're
to explain
talking
it to you?
about.
Quit yelling, and I'll explain it to you.
It's so
Okay.
annoying because they do that. You actually explain. They don't know. They're like, oh, it just is. It's just like,
Okay.
but please.
So the Peter Parker we got from Tobey Maguire was an introvert. He was the bullied kid. He was all of the insecure parts of Peter Parker that existed in the early comic books. He represented all of that, like almost perfectly. All right. He failed on the quippy one-liners as Spider-Man. A lot of his lines fell flat. They felt kind of 1990s corny, even though, I mean, the movies were made in the 2000s, but the early 2000s. So Andrew Spider-Man, Andrew as Spider-Man, like we were just talking about, had the best one-liners. He was the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, like the scene with the kid. You know, he was New York's Spider-Man. He was the comic book Spider-Man. His Peter Parker was too, some people say too cool, some people say emo. I just feel like he was kind of too aloof. Like he didn't really care about his personal situation that he was in. Like he didn't care about Peter Parker. He cared about Spider-Man. You know, like that's kind of the feeling I got from that particular portrayal of Peter Parker from Andrew. I don't feel it was true to the comic book. I don't feel it was true to the character. With Tom Holland, I feel like he is kind of a hybrid of both because he's got that kind of insecure, geeky Spider-Man or like Tobey Maguire thing going on with his Peter Parker. But at the same time, he's still got that cool factor, you know, that Andrew Garfield's Peter Parker had, but he kind of makes it work a little bit better. And his Spider-Man is just Iron Man Jr. I mean, as much as I hate to say that, I really
no,
don't.
you're right. You're absolutely right about that.
I really don't like what they've done with his relationship with Tony Stark in the MCU, but I understand why they did it.
My only like counter to like Andrew's like whole thing was I don't know if he was like too aloof because I feel like that was the point of the movie because my argument for Andrew's version of Peter was I feel like that's what, at least when I was like in school, that's what like a geek or like someone that's like really smart or something, like whatever, like that's how I feel like they were. They weren't really necessarily like the glasses wearing, and he even wore the glasses after he got his powers, which is funny. But I feel like I don't know, he succeeded in that, and I also think like the whole point of the movie too is he's looking for the guy that killed his uncle, which people were saying like, oh, he's only out for revenge in that movie, and it's like I feel like yeah, like if you got all these powers and like someone like killed your uncle, I feel like yeah, you would be out there doing what you could to like find people, and they even addressed that in the movie because they had that dinner scene with Captain Stacy, and Peter's like, oh, I think Spider-Man's just trying to help people. And then Captain Stacy's like, "Are you sure?" Because like everyone that he's targeting has the exact same like format, like blonde hair, glasses, and you look like looking for like a tattoo. And then when he fought the lizard on the bridge, he he changed. That's when he said, "I'm Spider-Man," right? And then he like made it his mission to go find the lizard or whatever. So I personally, at least in my opinion, I don't think Andrew failed as a Peter. I feel he was like for that era of like 2012, he was an accurate like version of that type of character. To me,
I agree.
anyway.
I agree. Yeah.
I completely agree.
I certainly don't disagree, but what I will say is it doesn't make him comic book accurate, and which is what a lot of people's argument is with that whole Toby is the Peter, Andrew is the Spider-Man, Tom's kind of a mix.
Well,
That-
you
I mean,
see,
it's-
that's I was gonna say like you can say that yes, but at the end of the day, it's like these are all adaptations. Like not every single Peter Parker is generally the same. Like we have like at this point, there's many different variations of Spider-Man. So there's obviously many different variations of Peter Parker. So we can't necessarily say like, oh, he's like not really comic book accurate when like now there's like there's like when we have like one side of Peter that's nerdy, but then we have another side of Peter that's not nerdy, but he's somewhat of a normal kid. Like he's still kind of cool. Like he's not like a very much of a nerd type deal. So I don't know, like just like having that argument, just saying like, oh, not comic book accurate can't really be much of an argument. At the end of the
Very,
day.
bro. Body slamming this dude over and over.
Nobody reads comics anyways. In fact, most of the population doesn't even know how to read. So there, that's why we have cinema.
See,
I'll-
here I've read every single issue of Amazing Spider-Man that's ever been printed.
But I was gonna say though, like, isn't Peter like a huge dick in the comics anyway? Like, he's not really like aloof. Like every time Flash would say something, he would just be like, "Flash, kill yourself," pretty much. Like,
I mean, after he got his powers and he started becoming more competent as Spider-Man, he basically told Flash off at every opportunity that he got. He was basically like, "You're not worth my time. I'm better than
Bro,
you."
like no,
But
like
only
I
to Flash.
paraphrase though, yeah. But like to Flash, every time he would say something, he would just be like, "Bro, Flash, you're an actual moron. You're not gonna get anywhere in life. Like, just like don't even talk to me." It's like that's the type of energy Peter had. Like, so I don't know.
Yeah, he hated Flash, like, and with good reason. Flash tormented him for years, you know. But then in the '70s, they all became friends.
I mean, yeah, with Agent Venom, like later on as well, and separate runs, like they're all pieced up now.
Yeah,
But
dude,
yeah,
Andrew
yeah.
Flash was better than
Dude, yeah, I actually, I feel like that was underrated. But go ahead,
Nah.
Isaac, yeah. No,
No?
no.
Oh, okay.
Gresh likes the like 85-year-old like Manganiello like in high school.
Can I jump in real quick?
It's gonna be funny.
That argument against them being adults, I don't think matters too much. It's a kid's movie, and when you're a kid, those are high schoolers too. Adults are high schoolers. Like you don't know the difference when you're like 10. You think grade 12 is all like that?
To be fair,
I don't think it matters.
Nobody really ever leaves high school. Nobody really ever leaves high school. You know, even actors and 40-year-olds who play high schoolers, yeah, no, they're still in high school.
Is this funny because like that dude, like out of everyone there, you can visibly tell like Flash was like definitely like the oldest. Like, he was like 7 feet tall, like ripped. Like I was like, okay, like
he was held back for like 8 years.
But I will say, like, to Azik's point, like the Flash from the Amazing Spider-Man, he even had a character arc in the first movie where he bullied like Peter in the beginning, and then when Uncle Ben died, he was the first one that went to Peter and was like, look, man, like I know like it's rough, and then Peter like pushed him up against like the lockers, and he was like, it feels good, right? Like, you know, like being like the stronger guy, and he was just like comforting. I was like, damn, like that's actually like.
He even
really
apologizes
cool.
in that
Yeah.
scene. Yeah.
He stops bullying him
that Flash was
entirely.
awesome.
He stops bullying him entirely, and he even at the end of the movie, he like hugs him and shit.
And he has a Spider-Man shirt on, dude. And it was just
I loved that because they didn't really play the whole Flash as a huge Spider-Man fan thing until we got the most recent iteration, you know. And the fact that they had that subtle kind of Easter egg in there with Flash wearing that Spider-Man shirt, that was chef's kiss.
I saw a thing on Twitter, which I really hope it's a plot point in No Way Home. Somebody said that they want to see Flash getting a tattoo of Spider-Man, of like the Spider-Man symbol or whatever, when Peter gets exposed as Spider-Man, because I think that would be so funny for comedic wise, because he does not like Peter, but he loves Spider-Man. So seeing him get like a tattoo of Spider-Man, then him seeing that's Peter, he's just gonna have to like rethink his whole life. He's like looking at the tattoo and like disgust. He's like, I don't like Spider-Man no more. I honestly wanted to start hating Spider-Man because he knows who Peter is, or know who he is a little bit.
Dude, it's just like I just can't take him seriously as Flash, dude. Like you look at Tom Holland, who literally has like a square jaw. He's kind of cut, like he's in shape, and then you look at like Flash, and he's like out of shape, like dude with like money. And it's like I know there's like different types of like bullying and stuff, but it's like is Penis Parker real? Is Penis Parker the extent of his like bullying? Like that's it. That's as far as he goes.
Listen,
he just calls them names.
Yeah, so it's like I don't know.
Listen, I'm fat with money. It's okay.
I'll actually.
I'm actually, you know, now that you said the thing about the tattoo, I'm interested in seeing Flash's reaction to the reveal. Like, I really hope we get to see Flash in the movie and see something with him.
I was saying this like for months when we first got that first, you know, like mini teaser or whatever. I was talking in call with a bunch of other people that I talk to about Marvel stuff, and I think my most exciting interaction that I can't wait for these new movies is Ned talking to Doctor Strange. I simply cannot wait for their interaction. There's actually a clip of them talking already, but I want to just like see full on some great comedic moments with Ned and Strange. I think that would be so cool just to see, for my personal opinion.
I love that scene that they released. I can't believe I'm in the Sanctum Sanctorum. Neither can I.
I'll probably say a hot take for Amazing Spider-Man 2. I actually really like Dane DeHaan as an actor, and I think if he had more time as Harry Osborn, I think he could have, because like to that one scene where they went to the park and they were like just talking like just about life. I thought that was like a really cool scene where they're like trying to catch up and stuff, and I was like, wow, like even though like they're trying to make me believe they've been friends for like since childhood, like in one scene I was like, I could kind of believe that, like the way like the chemistry just in general in the Mark Webb films, because he did 500 Days of Summer, which is a more character relationship based type movie. I think his knack for like getting like relationships on screen, I think he's like, again, like he just keeps proving, because I even like Sally Fields, like Aunt May, like people like don't, like I feel like they don't even give her enough credit. Like she
I think
supported.
they had a good dynamic. I think it was a very good dynamic between Sally Field and Andrew Garfield. I think they played that relationship really well.
Yep.
Like, because I feel like as didn't she say like you felt like she knew but like didn't want to like address it really?
Exactly. That's exactly how I felt. Like the whole time I almost felt like, there's that one part where he kind of like is coping from the loss of Gwen, and he stops being Spider-Man for a little bit, and then she's just like kind of like hinting at it, like I wish he would come back, like kind of like she almost like knew the entire time, right? She was kind of like urging it, but at the same time she's still worried for him. And you even get that kind of like Aunt May from this game, from the Spider-Man game, right? And I really like that a lot.
Yeah. She knew the entire time.
Yes, that was heartbreaking. Like that the
Oh
end
my
of this
God, I
game,
bawled like a baby in this game.
it made me cry, dude. Like I really liked that. It reminded me a lot of the Amazing Spider-Man Aunt May.
Also, go ahead.
No. You go, and then I'll say what I want to say.
Because I was gonna say there was another thing that they cut out of the movie, which for a good reason. There's literally like 8 subplots in that movie, but I don't know if you knew this, Grish, but there's a deleted scene in Amazing Spider-Man 2 after Gwen dies, of Peter's dad. He's alive, like straight up, and he like shows up finally after like forever, and Peter, like the scene with him like was like genuinely like just like heartbreaking, because he's like who are you, like like, and it's basically crying, like he breaks down essentially, because it's like a dad that he thought was gone, and then his girlfriend's also like the love of his life is like dead, and he comforts him, and then they like talk about like how he lost his mom, or like his wife, right? And they kind of share that little bond, and he even gives him he I think that's when they gave him the "with great power comes great responsibility," like the dad says it, even though Martin Sheen like alluded to it. But it was a really cool scene, and I was like, wow, I felt like they should have kept that, because that for me because he basically tells Peter like, you don't have to leave her, like just take her with you everywhere you go, like that's just how you kind of got to keep it pushing.
Yeah, I've seen that, and when I was a kid, I thought he meant like actually take her body with him. Like I don't know if that's
God, Tony.
What? As a kid, I was like, that's kind of weird. Like, why would you want to take dead
Oh my God! Just pick her up, take her with you.
Just like you see Spider-Man screwing around with a dead, decaying body around.
Yeah, like that's what I thought as a kid, and I'm like, wait a minute, this is not.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm trying to be all heartfelt that he's just like, I actually thought he meant take the entire corpse with her. It's like, yeah.
Listen, I'm a kid at this point, so I'm thinking like, don't know how that's gonna work, but go on ahead, Spider-Man. You gotta do what you gotta do. You know what? Listen, I believe in you, man. I've seen you take on trains. I bet you could do this. This is fine.
Yeah, yo, Barry, you just ran that civilian over. I'm gonna be straight up with you.
I didn't run anyone over. I'm not driving.
No,
well, you could have
stopped it. Yeah, you could have stopped it.
I did stop the car. It stopped.
Yeah, Chapo, you saw that, right? That's what I'm. Oh my
you,
god.
you just, yeah. Oh, talking about great power comes great responsibility. Guess what? You just let that person die, just like Gwen. What is wrong with you? Anyways, no, I think what I really like about, and I hate this part too, is the fact of Jamie Foxx being in a Spider-Man movie. I love the fact. First of all, I'm a huge music guy, but the fact that they got Jamie Foxx to play Electro in a Spider-Man movie, holy crap, that is so cool to me. Like, I remember growing up with Jamie Foxx, listening to his music for like hours and hours and hours. I remember he did the one song with T-Pain, Blame It. And that was like that's still one of the greatest songs. But seeing him in a like actual Marvel movie playing a villain was the coolest thing. However, the problem was that, they did Electro dirty. First of all, I also don't like, they did him so like, for a cool person, he gave him the worst like role. Like, his role is meant to be so cool, but then all of a sudden he's like, oh yeah, I'm Blue, dabba dee dabba die. Guess what? I don't want to see Blue Electro, all right? I want to see Jamie Foxx do his Jamie Foxx thing. And it sucks because, like, man, first of all, the weird story about it too is that he just falls in a vat of like, a tube with eels, and that's how he gets his powers. It's like, it's kind of weird, but it's interesting at the same time. But I just don't like how he went from being this nerdy guy to falling in equipment, becoming blue and bald, mind you. Bald. I don't understand why they named him bald. And then he just dies. Like, they don't explain how he dies. He just dies randomly due to an electrical burst.
Not that it really matters 17 years or whatever after the fact, or however many years it's been, but I think the thing with no hair is the fact that the electricity fried all of his hair and the first layer of his skin off.
Yeah, no, that I understand.
I don't
understand completely.
I don't really have or ever saw the problem with him being blue, because like they were going for the ultimate version of Electro, I think.
Yes.
So I never really cared that he was blue. My only thing is, like, I feel like he got better as Electro when he became Electro, like after the time, which again, Amazing Spider-Man 2, the visuals, oh my god, with Electro and like the swinging and like that scene in Times Square where he used the spider sense and he saved all the people from getting electrocuted. Like, the effects, or when he played like Itsy Bitsy Spider on the generators, like, dude, the effects in that movie and the soundtrack too was like really good. Is Spider-Man worth it? Yes, first time chatter, absolutely.
I'm not gonna lie. When like he kept on, like, when he first got saved by Spider-Man, he's like, oh, Spider-Man's my friend. That would have been me. I'll be like, yeah, Spider-Man saved me once. We're cool, we talk. He's going to my birthday party, by the way. Like, I love that factor. I don't know why, because I can see myself doing that. I'm like, oh yeah, me and Spider-Man, yeah, we're cool. He saved me from a bus.
My favorite part about the entire thing was that, like, for whatever reason, becoming Electro fixed a gap in his teeth. And they had a close up on it. Like, it was was that really like such a character moment that they needed, like, his teeth got fixed? Like, what the fuck? Like,
that's probably the goofiest part of Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2.
Yeah, like, it was like, what? They had a close up for it. Like, why? Like,
that's crazy. Yeah.
I just like how, like, they made him look so good for No Way Home. Like, because I don't know who really watches like interviews and stuff like that, but they were talking about how, like, if he the only reason why he's coming back is the fact that he was promised he wasn't going to be blue. But I want to actually see him be blue for the first part. I want to see him be the first part. I want him to, like, when they introduce him to the film, I want him to be blue for a little bit and then transition over.
I can see that happening. Cool. I think I saw someone say that he was gonna come into the verse just blue, and then that kind of like contraption that he has on, like in the trailer. That's what's
but then how does he grow his hair back, like, randomly?
Yeah, because he does have like that fresh fade and everything. He got some style, man. He got those Tims on.
He got some Tims. He got a shape up, like.
That's how you know he is good. He's out for blood. That's how you know he's a New Yorker. First of all, if you got the Tims on, and you just
stomp him out.
Yeah, stomp him out. Listen, you don't need I want to see him wear some electric Tims and stomp out Peter Parker. That would be amazing. That would be cinema. I don't need to see the rest of the movie. I need Peter Parker to get stomped out by some Tims, by Electro, and then we're good. That's it. Play the credits, and then play the Doctor Strange trailer at the end.
Yeah, it's funny though how you mentioned the interviews, because when you're watching, like, they did the villains interview,
yes.
he talks so, like, differently from it feels like Alfred whenever he talks, Alfred and Willem Dafoe are just so lost, like they're just like in agreement right there because he's like talking like it's just it's funny how like they interact with each other just overall. Alfred is just like I'm just happy to be here. It's just the money.
Yeah,
The money.
did you see that? I know I was gonna bring that up. Did you see? It's like William was like, "Oh, I was so interested in this idea." He was like, "Oh, I'm just in for the money."
I mean,
Well,
yeah, dude.
There was a picture I saw
he's right
was
about
with them at that actual like scene, like that meeting. And I don't know if it's part of the interview. I can't remember it is, but that Willem Dafoe's talking about like how they were just casually talking before all that, like how it would be cool just to, you know, beat up Tom Holland, Spider-Man, blah blah blah. And then when No Way Home came around, the first thing they did when they got there was start ganging up on Peter Parker, and they're like, you know what, we're gonna add that to the film, just real quick. I thought that would be really cool. Yeah, make it canon. You know what? Yeah, I like this idea. Like, you know what? Yeah, let's actually have you guys beat them up in CGI suits in the actual movie. Like, I love them as a chemistry, man. I just God, I can't wait for this movie.
I'm so excited, man.
Yeah, dude. I cannot wait either, dude. Like, I'm gonna have to see it twice, dude. If I can.
I already got 2 tickets.
You got 2 tickets, Garrett, on deck already?
Yeah.
Dang.
What about Monato's in here? What's up, Monato? So,
Yeah. Yo.
do a quick rundown. Boom. What you love about what's going on right now, Amazing Spider-Man, or even Sam Raimi, since he didn't really voice too much of that opinion yet.
Yeah, I didn't really talk about Sam Raimi. I mean, I was kind of there in chat, but I mean, I don't know. The last thing you talked about was MJ, and yeah, she sucks. I feel like in the third Sam Raimi movie, it just sucks. I feel like Harry just got so like, just done not really well because he showed up at the beginning of the movie, was like, yeah, I'm gonna beat your ass, and then just gets in a coma, and then gets amnesia, and is like. I don't know. I don't like how they handled Harry in the third movie, personally. And I really like the Amazing Spider-Man series. Very, very good. I would say that I like, like you guys said, the relationships. Emma Stone and Andrew did really well. I really like the Aunt May there. Especially the second movie, like the scene where. Oh, I forgot what exactly they were talking about, but no, in the first movie, remember when she caught Andrew's Peter, he came in home from late and he was like all bruised up, and she was like, "Where are you? What are you doing?" And that scene hit me really badly. Like, oh, that was a good scene. Those are agree. Like, that one was really nice. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot I could really talk about, but I don't want to just talk everything you guys already talked about.
Yeah, I guess we can move into like the MCU stuff now, which I feel like this one's be a little bit more spicy. But yeah, what are you, like, anyone can start whenever they want, but what are like some of your favorite moments, or what's your favorite thing about like MCU Spider-Man?
Iron Boy Jr. is a really stupid thing.
Right.
Anyways, Homecoming's one of the best Spider-Man movies ever to exist, and will be one of the best Spider-Man movies to ever exist for all eternity. Far From Home sucks massive fucking horse cock.
Okay.
I love Homecoming, but Far From Home is just it just didn't feel like a Spider-Man movie.
I really love the second half of Homecoming.
I'm gonna be honest. This might be a very unpopular opinion, but I was not a huge fan of either of the Spider-Mans with Tom Holland.
Really? Okay.
I thought the Amazing Spider-Man was way better than this series right here. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that it's just part of the MCU.
Yeah.
Right. Like
the issue is that it started when there was a whole Infinity War Endgame thing going on, and they kind of just threw Spider-Man in there, even in Civil War, and it's like you never really got that opportunity to have like at the beginning of Homecoming when we saw the neighborhood Spider-Man kind of stuff going on, where he was kind of interacting, the lady with the churro or whatever that was, that was cool, but we don't really see too much of that in the MCU because it's already MCU
galactic level at this point.
Yeah, galactic level, more just modern, recent MCU stuff. So that's really, I feel like that's it's just unfortunate, really. But I did like Homecoming a lot, though.
So I've enjoyed all of the Spider-Man movies and all of the Spider-Man appearances in the MCU, but really my favorite Spider-Man moment in the MCU isn't even in one of the Spider-Man movies. It's when him and Captain America are talking in Civil War. You're from Brooklyn, or you're from Queens? I'm from Brooklyn. I just love that in the middle of this, they're on opposite sides and they're starting to bond already. I love that scene.
Oh, I'm sorry. I like get to I just got my shit just got rocked and I died.
Yeah, you got one shot, bro.
Well, are you using that power where like
Yeah.
you one shot them, but they can one shot you?
Yeah. So every time I activate it, any hit can kill me. So, but
Imagine getting punched and it's like, yeah, like it's just a slight punch. You just like die right on the spot. You're like, damn, this is supposed to be my Super Spider-Man.
I get kicked in the shin and I died with that power. But I continue, Alec.
Some old lady hit you with a purse.
Any more, Alec, or are you good?
No, that's it. I just love that scene. That you asked what our favorite moment was for MCU Spider-Man.
Oh, okay.
That's fine.
Mine is the I don't know. When the stuff is falling on him and he's like having this whole self-revelation or whatever.
In Homecoming.
Oh, in
Yeah, I was gonna
Homecoming.
say that.
That's
Where he's like
that's
lifting
straight
up
out
like
of
the
the comic
debris off
books,
of
too.
him.
Yeah, that's why it's so
so
good.
good.
It's
Yep.
straight out the comics. It's so good.
I think mine
I
is when
actually
they're in the
have-
car.
Oh, sorry. What was that, Grish?
No, I was gonna say I think my favorite scene is when they're in the car in Homecoming and like he knows like he's the villain and he just can't say anything.
Oh,
yeah.
dude,
yeah.
with the green light and everything.
Vulture figures it out that he's Spider-Man and all that.
Yeah.
The
That's
light,
Good old
Good
Spider-Man.
Yeah, good old
the
Spider-Man.
light, the traffic light shining on him being all green is just like so cool. Oh my god! Like, yeah, I didn't
Done so
realize
well.
it at the time until like I saw somebody post it on Twitter, and they're like, "Oh, look at how the green light hits Vulture! That's so cool." And I sat there and I thought about it. I'm like, "Holy shit! I never thought of that." I'm like, "That's pretty cool. That's like great." Like
That's
Vulture, yeah. Like the couple villains that they added, I think I told Geek this earlier and is about it, but I really like from Homecoming, like Vulture actually was my original favorite like character from video games, because I think it was Spider-Man 2 that they introduced him as a villain, and you're fighting him in like this broken down building. And the whole idea that is just so cool. Like, I didn't know who he was. All I remember is that when I went to New York to visit my cousins, we're playing in their basement Spider-Man 2, and I saw Vulture. I'm like, that's a cool guy. He could just fly around. You know, we got Spider-Man, Vulture Man, and just all these characters. And Vulture's just a cool like concept. And I like how they gave him, you know, the tech from Avengers Tower. And it's so weird to see how all these villains now are just using technology from Avengers themed events to become who they are. I think that's such a very interesting concept because I don't know how many times that's been like put in the comics. I'm not a huge comic reader. I just collect them, you know, but I think it's pretty cool like how they've done all of that. And so for Vulture, man, Michael Keaton, man, he just simply dominates that role. Anything he does superhero wise, he dominates. I don't think I've actually hated him in any comic book like movie at all.
I mean,
Yeah, I agree with
Michael,
this pretty well.
Go ahead.
I would say the one thing about like, you know, them all using the Stark tech, I think it's like, you know, fine, like kind of tying things in, but a lot of people don't like it because it like makes it seem like, you know, all it's like about Tony, which reinforces like the Iron Boy Junior thing that they're going on about, which I kind of agree with that, you know.
Well, the
Did
monologist.
Did he just die?
Oh yeah,
Did
I
he
was
just
like,
fucking die?
I was scared that I got like fucked up. I was like, wait, did my thing just die?
When Stacey, are you there?
Oh man got his back
That's what he
broken.
gets for talking shit, bro.
I will say like like as much shit as I talk about. I love this suit, by the way. I'm a rocker for a little bit. Like I think I would probably agree with Ignat. Maybe my favorite moment is when it's a tie with like what Iggy said and what Garage said, because I really love that. Michael Keaton, man, is just a great actor. So he just goes, good old Spider-Man, and like Peter's like, he's just like oh man, and then that moment where he literally like he leaves her at the dance. I think that's such a Spider-Man moment.
Way to
It's
tie it
messed
in.
up. What? Minato?
He said something and then died again.
I feel like I think he's still talking, but he doesn't. Like he keeps cutting
doesn't
in and
realize.
out. But yeah, uh, I think that moment where he's in the car is such a good moment because then it leads Peter to like say like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Liz," and he had to go. And, like leaves her like straight up, and then he goes without any superpowered suit. He just goes with his hoodie and crappy goggles, and he faces like a dude with like all this technology and stuff. And he got messed
I
up too.
hope she
Like
doesn't come back. I hope Liz does not come back.
I would want to know her input though, because like the reason her dad is incarcerated is because of him, right? So the fact that she knows, I would like to see a moment in No Way Home at least to be like, I don't know, to be like message him or something like that. My bad if I couldn't
No, I
talk.
want to see. I want to see. I think what they're gonna do, if they do, would be like, because she moved. She's no longer in New York at all. They moved like some like. I want to see Minnesota. I don't know why Minnesota, but I think it's Minnesota, and I just want to see on the television her seeing him be exposed to Spider-Man, and that's the most I want out of that. Everything else, no, nah, don't put her in the movie. Like, don't give her a serious role. I do not want to see a text message from her whatsoever.
I think
Actually,
if all we
wait,
got
never
with a
mind.
text message might be the best thing. Like if he just gets a random text message that says, "You son of a bitch, you dropped me at the dance to go arrest my dad."
Yeah, like it's your fault. Like I had to move and everything, right? Like I feel like that's like a consequence thing too. That would like kind of like neatly, again, make it feel more like Spider-Man too, where it
Her
kind of
blood.
like, yeah, because
Yeah, let
it
her do the
brings
knowing.
it back. Yeah, I mean maybe at this point.
Although, wait a minute, I think. Did they ever explain who the woman in the car is?
No, they didn't.
What if
Part of me
that's
wants to believe
actually
that
her, and she didn't get blipped away?
I mean, she looks not, like the lady's pretty and everything, but she's like at least like 30s, I think. I think
But
that's way too
listen,
much.
listen, we seen Flash in Amazing Spider-Man look the way he did.
Oh,
I think.
all right, that is way different, Tony. What are you talking about? That is
No, but to be fair, all right, if we're talking that case, what about Cassie Lang in Endgame, right? Because she's like 7, right? In the Ant-Man movies before the blip, and then the blip happens, and then Scott Lang comes back, and she looks like she's like 16, 17.
I honestly don't know. I was thinking someone said it in chat. Who said it? Godsend. I think it's maybe Miles Morales' mom. That could be. I feel like that could be because they haven't. I don't know. Like, I don't even think
But
that
we've
that
never seen
actress
an
is
interaction
listed.
with them before, so like that wouldn't make sense though.
No, we know
No interaction.
he's in the series though. He was name dropped in Black Panther, right?
Was he?
No,
Miles, he was
no.
name
Yeah.
dropped, or he wasn't name dropped
Or
on screen.
nephew
He was
dropped.
referenced. Yes.
Yeah.
It's referenced
There
by his
is a
uncle.
deleted
Yeah.
scene, I think, where
Morales, oh my
he
god.
called them and says, "Miles, I'm sorry, I'm not going to make it," but I don't think that's a scene that's in the film anymore, or was never
No,
in the
like, the
film.
only thing that's referencing Miles is well, I mean, I would think it would reference Miles as Prowler in Homecoming.
Yes.
Yeah, no, yeah, he references.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I got a nephew.
That's what I'm talking
Oh,
about.
then
But
why would you say Black Panther then?
I thought
I
it was
didn't say
Black
Black
Panther.
Panther.
Yeah, I just thought it was.
Who's what?
Dude, it's been so long since I watched it. I thought that he was the whatever guy, the villain that bought the weapons.
Yeah, I was about to say. I'm like, wait
I
a
haven't
minute.
watched it since it came out. I just remember that it was a deal to buy weapons, and I thought it was listen.
All right.
Watch the movie
Hey,
once.
hold up,
you're right,
hold up.
You're right.
K Gray says that's the MIT lady in the car scene on the highway. I don't. Is that confirmed?
MIT.
So one of the plots of the movie that they've already talked about, so this isn't spoiler territory, is that Peter's getting ready to go to school and they're all talking about going to MIT. So I'm assuming when they say MIT lady in the car, that must be somebody that he meets in the film at some point. But if we're
Yeah.
taking time out of this movie to have an interview with an MIT lady, like, what the F?
Yeah,
Like,
first of all, I think
from the opening scene, which they've released the opening scene, the one where it picks up immediately right there in Times Square, you know, like where are we going to take time out of this movie to slow it down to put us into a meeting with an MIT lady?
yeah.
It's
I think it's the bridge scene too. After that, like,
yeah, it's the bridge scene. That's why. So maybe I mean, I feel like they could probably just neatly tie it into that part. And again, we'll see. It is a 2.5 hour movie because I feel like the only villains they're gonna really concentrate on are probably gonna be obviously Ock and Green Goblin and Electro. I think those are the only three because I mean they're the only three where like they're actually like on the press tours, right?
Like
So
I got those posters too.
yeah, and they got posters and
That's
everything.
that's why I
so-
think Lizard and Sandman are just going to be CGI. I don't think we're going to see the actors.
Which is unfortunate because like I would have loved to see more of Sandman.
Yeah, for sure. But what are some of your negatives from the MCU Spidey? Because my big negative is just how they handled. One, they like retrofitted like Peter. I don't know if you guys know this, but they like retconned or put him in Iron Man 2. That kid that Tony saved, that's him apparently.
Yeah.
And then
same time
Aunt May, like Aunt May really annoys me because like I like her and I'm glad that they went for someone that can actually like look like an ant. But my annoyance with her is just that they wrote her just like as an object. Every single person that exists in this like universe just like looks at her and they're like, "Wow, you're so hot." Like
Right.
that's
Peter
a,
doesn't.
Yeah.
again.
Well,
Like,
well,
well,
yeah,
I would
get
hope
it.
not,
Like,
Choco.
like Tony Stark said something the first time he met her, then her and Happy are kind of a thing, and yeah, I get what you're saying there. Aunt May did not get that busy in the comics, and when she did, it was with the Doc Ock.
And like I don't want to see Uncle Ben get like shot again. That's fine, but like they don't talk about him. It's like taboo. Like they don't mention him at all. Like it's
The
like he
only
just doesn't
reference we've had
exist.
is in Far From Home.
Yeah, he got mentioned like once in Far From Home, and they're doing. Aren't they gonna do that freshman series or whatever? So hopefully maybe we'll see some of them there.
Yeah, maybe they'll correct it with that freshman series, but like he lost Uncle Ben's like suitcase, and then Aunt May was just like, "Oh, it got blown up. It's fine." It's like, oh, okay, you don't care. All right, sure. I guess you don't care about it. Like,
I mean,
like,
really, I understand what you're saying there, but in the situation that May is in, she got to keep her nephew and fuck a suitcase. You know, like her nephew didn't get blown up in that.
No,
instant.
I get that. I get that sentiment, but it's like they don't. She doesn't even acknowledge it. Like it's just like it's like, oh, like did you lost Ben's thing? It's like I know, like at least literally a line of just like, oh, I know that like that meant a lot to us, but like you know at least you're safe. Like that's it. Like boom. Like that's it. Like you can correct that scene.
Oh,
but
one thing.
Go ahead.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to bring up about the other thing you said about the Iron Man 2 boy. Doesn't he show up to the funeral in Endgame?
No, that's the Iron Man 3 kid.
That was the Iron Man 3 kid. Yeah.
Oh, I mixed them up. I'm dumb. Don't mind me then.
Yeah, that was the other the other kid that Tony informed.
The other kid, yeah.
Do we know in MCU that Ben Parker is his biological uncle and Aunt May is just married in?
I don't know.
Because like Ben Parker has no presence whatsoever. I wouldn't be surprised if they changed Ben Parker was the one who was married in, because it's such a weird thing. He's never talked about. His parents, I don't even think were mentioned more than like 1 or 2 times. Did they even get name dropped properly? Like,
I don't know. I don't think we've heard the names Richard and Mary yet.
Yeah, because like I don't like I feel like we can all agree like we don't need them to like spell it out or show us like Uncle Ben dying again, right? Or any other thing. We just just
like,
any
a
acknowledgement.
A little more acknowledgement about it would be nice.
Yeah, it's like
even
it's
if they
like
do
going
in
off-
the third movie right here, you know. I think that's cool.
like going off, like picking back a little bit off on what you were saying about just like not acknowledging, you know, Uncle Ben. It's like, okay, I understand. It's like, you know, we don't have to like sit through the same thing over and over, but like again, just like you know, a reference or like acknowledgments, like, hey, you know, your Uncle Ben was such a great guy, blah blah blah. You know how he would feel this and that, and it just feels weird. And then just switching over to like Peter wanting the acknowledgement of, you know, Tony Stark instead of like trying to like shoot out for like, you know, the acknowledgement of Uncle Ben is again will always feel a little weird to me. But then again, like I understand like the reason why they're doing it is because, you know, again, this is the MCU Spider-Man, so they want to do it their way. But I don't know, just for me, it just feels weird.
Well, we did get notes about him from What If. Sorry, spoilers. Is it spoilers? I don't know. It's been out a while.
That episode sucked anyway. So.
But yeah, that episode did suck. But
No, yeah, that episode was. I mean, yeah, I agree. That episode was not good. But I mean, to be fair, with the well, what if is canon actually? I can't say your name. I'm gonna call you Chris. You
Jerry.
look like a Chris.
So,
Jerry.
Jerizo.
I'm gonna call you Jerry.
it is
But yeah, no, like it actually is Cameron. No, Cameron Cannon.
Cameron. Tony
Yeah,
words.
no, yeah, words are hard in Florida. You know, we don't have education out here, but no, but like in all seriousness though, everything in What If is officially canon. They even officially have stated that it is canon. So what's cool about it is the fact that they do reference him in there, which is really cool, which is really, really cool. But with the new Spider-Man series that they have coming out is basically going to be talking about everything before Civil War, which is going to be pretty cool. So we'll actually get some Uncle Ben stuff in that actual series, which is pretty cool. But yeah, like really, like it just sucks that the only thing that we have of Uncle Ben was the fact of the suitcase. However, apparently there was a deleted scene. I think you probably talked about it already before I fix my computer, but there's a scene where they're going to the closet and they're just picking out suits, talking about, you know, like, oh, this is your uncle's suit, blah blah blah. But yeah, it's one of those weird things for sure. Like, I don't know, I wish we had more representation of him because he's so important to the story. But yeah,
my thing with like those deleted scenes too is like it just baffles me why they deleted them, because there's a scene, like a whole like montage that's like just only like 4 minutes, which I know in movie time that's a lot, but like there's a little montage where Peter gets shown like trying to like prepping for the trip essentially, and like he stops like a mafia crew and like talks to the police, and I thought that was really cool, like just some more street level kind of thing. And then he also like sells like his action figures to get money to buy MJ like the pendant in like in Europe. So I'm like, dude, like this is like actual great like Peter Spider-Man things. Like,
yeah,
why did they cut it out? Like it's seeing him get the money and whatever to help himself get the pendant. I was like, that's cool, but I
think it would have been cool to be like, yeah, I saved you, lady. This random civilian, he's like, yeah, I saved you. Yeah, like, listen, you want to give me like $5? You know, listen, I do this normally for free, but you know, I'm trying to buy something. Just, you know, $5 will do. Just maybe $1 if you got it. Like, if they say no, they don't got nothing. Again, just put them back in that situation where, like, okay, cool. Guess what? If you don't want to give me money, that's fine. I'll let those people rob you again.
You know, this didn't. I heard them say earlier they didn't want to be a superhero man. I can kind of see it now.
I could be a superhero. It's just, you know, I'm more of a fair superhero.
Yeah, give me money or else I'll just leave you back in the situation you were.
I'll just let them rob you, and then I'll take the money from them. See, look, full
I'll
circle.
help them rob you, just so I can take it myself.
Yeah, listen, I've earned it. You know how hard it is to be Spider-Man? Yeah, no, I need like
you know how
$5
expensive
real
these
quick.
hospital bills are, man? That's crazy. Give me
No,
that
you
money.
see this suit? This is that Wakandan leather, all right? I need you to go in and help me out here and get this bad stuff. I ain't got no Tony Stark no more. So, you know, just $5.
Speaking of suits, which one's your favorite from the movies? Between
Amazing
movies
Spider-Man
and
Okay, I was
animated.
gonna say, yeah, you gotta
Amazing
talk about
Spider-Man
what's
too.
like.
Easy.
Yeah, between all the movies we've talked about, which one has the best suit?
I really like Toby's, but I gotta give it to Spider-Man or Amazing Spider-Man.
I was like, I was
Yeah,
gonna say which
Spider-Man.
one.
Yeah, no, my bad. No, I gotta give it to Andrews, just because it just
The second
looks
or the
good.
first one, though?
Well, it's all the same suit.
No, it's not the first
No.
one.
Is
The
it
first
not?
one and the second one have
This
different
is-
suits.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is the
Andrew wore
first
two
one.
I'm
different
looking
suits.
right now. Okay, what's the second one? Because I
It's not
can't.
in
I
this
don't
game.
The
really
second one has like
remember.
the white eyes and it looks.
The second one's pretty
Alright.
much this, but like a bigger spider and stuff, and like
Then this
different back
this
spider.
one, the first one you showed.
This
The
one.
one with the
No, the one that you showed earlier with the
With the
big
black
spider
eyes?
logo on the back.
Okay.
That one I like.
Oh, that one.
Oh,
Okay, yeah.
yeah. This was from the game though. Like so,
Yeah,
this
again.
like so
Wait,
think. Amazing Spider-Man 2 is basically this, like the basic classic style. He just doesn't have like the emotive eyes, and like the spiders are different.
Yeah,
But it's pretty much like this essentially, but it's a little bit slimmer.
yeah.
what's
I
up,
gotta
though?
It's gonna
rewatch
have
those
like darker
movies.
eyes and stuff like that.
I gotta rewatch all the movies before Thursday.
I will
Yeah.
say my favorite is Amazing Spider-Man 2, but I think this one
I love
from far,
the No Way Home one. I mean,
Thi-
no,
this-
Far From Home.
this one is really climbing up. I really love the gold on it. It looks really nice from the new one. But like in terms of just like classic blue and red, I think the Stark suit is like I miss it, man. Like
Yeah.
like such a perfect like,
I like the hoodie one though. Like if we're talking about suits overall, I like
This
the hoodie
yeah.
one. I think that no, not that one. The
Uh-huh.
one the one in Far From Home.
Oh, I
Like,
think it's in here.
before,
Actually, yeah.
before he got the actual
Like
like
the spider monkey, whatever. There's like
No, this one.
no,
Like
no,
this,
not
this
one.
overall.
no.
Not this one either.
No, yeah, that's one. Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry. I was looking at whoever added me in the general. Yeah, I like that one. It just gives it that look, man. I don't know why. It looks so good. Like I'd wear that.
Because I feel like Spider-Man, right? Like, it's a homemade suit.
Yeah.
It's
Like,
you know.
it's homemade. He's like, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing it anyway.
as a
I
kid.
remember when the Clone Saga started in the 90s, and this is back when I was reading comics as they came out. And they first introduced the clone Spider-Man, and this suit is basically just that Scarlet Spider suit, but the
That's
colors
not
are
a suit,
reversed.
geek.
Well,
I mean, it's a
sorry,
birthday suit.
I'm on a delay here. That last suit that you guys were looking at, the hoodie
No,
suit.
yeah, no, the hoodie
So-
suit's good, but geek was just stuck on one thing that was just not a suit.
Right.
It was just a
So-
mask.
But yeah, it's basically just the colors are reversed. In the comic books, Scarlet Spider has a blue hoodie and like
Yeah.
red
This-
suit. And
This one.
Oh,
I
yeah.
remember thinking in the 90s that was the coolest looking Spider-Man ever.
Yeah.
You know?
It's just, man, it's
That one right there, yeah, that one. Look how awesome that suit is. I still think
It's
that's
so
one of the
cool.
coolest suits in the history of Spider-Man.
It looks cool for sure.
And the OG 2099 suit, dude, I love that OG 2099 suit. The new one I
Yeah.
don't like as much, but oh,
You just can't hate Spider. I don't think there should be one person on this planet that hates Spider-Man. What has he done to you that you just don't like him? Because I've been in conversations with people. They're like, "Yeah, Spider-Man's mid." I'm like, "How is he mid?" They're like, "He's just a guy." And I'm like,
That's the point.
I'm like, "You're
Tristone-
just a guy.
Tristone,
What
I
are you
like-
talking about?"
Tristone, I
I'm
like
not
the Raimi
listening.
suit. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I dislike the Raimi suit, but from the movies, I think Andrew's suit in the first movie was the best. And I liked it because it had different colored eyes. I liked it because the eyes weren't white.
Yeah,
You
I mean,
know?
I see what you put. Yeah, I like that suit. It looks good. It's different compared to what we got before. I mean, because Spider-Man has a lot of suits, man. He has so much clothes. Like I've never seen a kid have so much clothes in my life like that. But literally, I like the.
I
Amazing
don't
Spider-Man
like
suit.
that. I don't like the white suit for 2099.
No, that's Tron.
I do.
That is-
I do like the white Future Foundation suit though. That's a tight suit from the comic books.
Okay, so strictly just based on the movies, from every single suit iteration that we've gotten, whether it's Iron Spider, which is like their version right here from Avengers and stuff, which I'm tired of looking at. I'm glad it's getting booted. Anyway, like Far From Home, Amazing Spider-Man, Sam Raimi. Like, I don't think I heard Goresh or I think I know. Is Ignis still here? No, I don't see him. Never mind.
No.
Choco or anyone like that didn't
I have
answer.
Raimi suit probably. It's just the
Yeah.
one I grew up with. So
Yeah, pretty much the same.
For me, I actually like the Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit. Like,
Yeah.
I would
it
agree.
just like felt like a classic.
That one just looks good. Just pleasing to my eyes.
Do a poll
Yeah.
for best.
Especially
You
after
can,
we
you can do a poll.
Yeah.
I'm
Especially
setting one
after rewatching those movies, it's like it just looks so good. Especially how it looks in the movie with the swinging scenes. Oof.
Dude, yeah, like the Amazing Spider-Man 1 suit looks really like good, like in motion. Like I know people like don't really like it because like I think they said like the texture, like the design of it is like different, but like in motion, this suit looks insanely good. Like I love it.
I think one of my favorite suits for Spider-Man. I mean, I know we're talking about Peter Parker, but I definitely think the fact that when we got the Miles Morales game, they added the Spider-Verse suit. I like the fact of how that suit moves. I don't know. I understand why people don't like the frame drops with it, but you gotta understand the whole format of the suit with the movie. I think that was something cool. Like I like the Miles Morales suits. I think a little bit more compared to Toby's suits. Or not Toby, sorry, Peter's suits. That's just me though, but I definitely think that Peter Parker does have a lot of cool suits though. He has an arsenal.
So There's
Go ahead.
so many suits that are featured between these movies. I'm actually just going to kind of dumb down this poll and just ask you guys which one of the actors had the best suits. Now, just kind of like a conglomerate of all the suits that they've worn. Who had the
Yeah.
best?
Yeah.
Because Toby had one, or no, he had two technically with the black
No,
suit.
the one
which
versus Bonesaw, dude. Come on.
Oh,
No,
three,
it's
three.
three.
Yeah, three. Yeah, so three. So the one versus Bonesaw, this one, and then he had the black suit. Andrew had three as well. He had the Vigilante, the Tassim one, and the Tassim 2 one. MCU had, okay, let's see. 1,
7.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think, yeah, 7. I think you're right. Yeah, 7. So he's had 7 suits all, like, together. So...
So that's one of the other things I don't like about MCU Spider-Man. Give him a suit. A suit.
Just one.
He is not Iron Man. I know everybody's brought up Iron Baby already and all that crap, but seriously, Spider-Man went 16, 17, 20 years, something like that in the comic books without a single change to his costume. Other than sometimes the spots underneath his arms had webs and sometimes they didn't.
I can't wait for the Iron Spider suit to be destroyed in No Way Home. I hope that's a thing because I'm tired of seeing it.
Dude,
tired.
And it's so trash compared to this one, dude. Like the actual gold and red one is way cooler than that one.
Oh yeah, the red and gold one.
It's so fire, but like they gave him the dubbed down like Tony Stark suit, and it's like, listen, like, please, Doc Ock, just rip it off of Peter or something. Somebody destroy it. That's when I'm going to be cheering the loudest in the theater when I see that suit just get ultimately destroyed. I'm going to be the loudest in there. I don't care. I'll be like, finally, thank you. Like, cause I think a lot of people are just tired of seeing this suit. Like, that's his just like go-to thing. Like, the arms are cool. The arms on the suit are cool, but it's just like, man.
I mean, visually, it's a cool looking suit. It's just so overplayed.
Batman in the cinema.
You just see it too much, and I don't know.
It's flaunted so much, man. Like I'm tired of it. Get rid of the spider suit. Literally, let him have the one suit that he's getting. The gold and the other one.
Yeah,
that
the
getting.
new gold suit looks pretty good. And
yeah,
the
let him
black
have
and gold
that
one
and
looks
call
nice
it a
too.
day.
The
black one's nice.
This
That one
one's
looks
pretty.
nice.
Apparently, this is just this one, but inverted, like inside out, which makes sense because you can see like wires and shit on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
So this is probably just the inside out like version of the black and red suit. Do you think we'll see a new suit? I mean, yeah, here we are. I mean, right here. Boom. I think this is.
We're looking at him.
Yeah. Like straight up, this is the newest suit. Like of it. I think this is a combination of Iron Spider and then this suit. And
I can see it.
Yeah, because it actually has the same logo as the Iron Spider, right?
Yeah,
it does. Yep. So maybe Doc Ock messes this up so much, which I love that Doc Ock fucks them up, but
Finally,
that he like whatever's left of the nanomachines from this suit, he probably. I mean, it's called the integrated suit or hybrid suit, right? So it makes sense that he put it on this one.
yeah.
I just like
it's
the
not
fact.
a bad looking suit.
It looks good.
Yeah.
I like the gold
I mean-
on it. I really do.
Yeah, the gold looks really polished.
I mean, I like the fact. I mean, is it a spoiler? We've seen it in the trailer already, so I don't know if it's a spoiler or not with Doc Ock. With his, is it a spoiler? I mean, I don't want to say it if it is.
No, if it was in the trailer, I feel like that's free game. If it was in the trailer, that's fine.
Cool. So, like, we all noticed that before the trailer dropped, we obviously saw pictures of of the arms, like in the hint that they were, and people were speculating like that it was gonna be because of him beating up the Iron Spider suit.
Oh, you're talking about Ock's arms like becoming golden red.
Oh,
right, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
the red upgrade.
Having the tint.
yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely think that it's so cool at the fact that like the nanotech and that his arms just like fuse together to make new tech.
I think that's
Yeah.
cool
So-
too.
I think that's a great thing. Like, because
And then
if
you get rid
he
of the
gets
whole
that from if he literally just beats up the Iron Spider suit to where the metals or I don't know what the proper terminology for it would be, but the fact that they merge together to make like a Doc Ock even more of a threat is just it's a great concept.
I mean, you could tell too because remember when he has to move the nanotech to his like mid body so that he protects that middle section because
Yeah.
he has to uncover his face. That shows that he probably already absorbed it, and that's when it's like, "You're not Peter Parker," or you know.
Well, that's when he made, because there's a scene in like, well, I think they showed it already, but where he makes a dagger with his arms.
Yeah,
I'm
he's
pretty
done
sure
that in
that's the
Spider-Man
nanotech.
2. Yeah, he's done that in
Did
Spider-Man
he
2.
do that? I don't even remember that part.
Yeah.
Huh, okay.
Yeah, he did that. Yeah, he was when he was
Yeah.
about to like. That was with Aunt May behind him, right? She smacked him with her cane or whatever.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, that's
yeah.
right. With the burst.
Did you see the
Didn't he
edit,
get, like, a
Gresh, of
Spanish
like
crust, right?
yeah, but did I was just say, Gresh, did you see the edit of when like new Ock is like fighting Peter and like behind them the portal opens and it's like Aunt May with the umbrella showing up?
Yeah.
I didn't see that, no.
that was pretty funny. What were you saying, Manado?
Oh no, doesn't he get a cut in his chest because of that, or am I crazy? I haven't seen the second one
No,
in a
no.
while.
So I think I'm pretty sure the way the suit works, or the dagger, he in Spider-Man 2 he used it twice. I think one time he hit like an electricity, like Iron Man. Jeez, Spider-Man pulled up one of the cords and like he stabbed through it and got electrocuted. I think I'm pretty sure.
I
And
think
then
Yeah,
the other
that was what broke him out of
Yeah.
the trance.
Yeah. It was one of the cords that goes into like the machine he was building.
Yeah. And the power of the sun in the palm of my hand, right? The tritium.
Yeah, dude, I really
whatever.
hope he makes that. I really hope he makes that in this movie again for the third time.
Yeah, he's just gonna throw a sun at Spider-Man.
I'm gonna
Like
throw a
some-
car at you.
just brings his hands up and just makes like a power, like some beers type stuff. And he's like, "Hey, take the
Oh
sun."
god. I
Yeah,
can
I
see it
think-
happen.
I think Amazing Spider-Man 2 is my favorite suit, and man, I really like this gold one. I feel like this is my favorite Holland suit so far. I really like the black and red one from Far
I think
From
I might-
Home.
I might
But-
slightly like the black and red one more, but the gold one, it's roaming up on me a lot. That's for sure.
I think the
What
black and
if-
red
I'll have to
one's my
wait to see it
favorite
in
Tom
action.
Holland's.
I'll
What if
show
they
you
give him
it in action.
another suit?
Oh,
What if they
wait,
give him
yeah, huh.
another suit that they haven't shown yet? What if he gets 3 suits in this?
I mean, well, technically, like technically the second suit, if it's like really inverted, then it's not technically a new suit. But
Yeah, it's just one suit turned inside out. It's not going to have new abilities or anything.
Yeah.
No,
I
mean,
I'm saying more so like another suit, like design wise, that we haven't seen yet.
I don't know.
I
I feel like 2 is enough.
Yeah,
I-
I agree.
feel like
I
we've
think the
had
third one
too
will be
many
fun.
already in this series.
Yeah. I mean,
I mean,
that's a good point.
I personally am okay with like if them doing more suits, but I feel like 2 per movie is like a max.
Yeah, if it's like one movie, I don't think I need them switching out. One thing I kind of hope we see is like battle damage, because one thing I really like about the Raimi suit, and even I guess mainly Raimi, a little bit of the Amazing Spider-Man 1, like when he got beat up by Goblin, dude, like his mask was all fucked up, dude. Like his whole face
Yeah.
was showing.
Yeah.
I'm
Like,
going to operate next to his face.
yeah, like
Yeah.
I love the battle damage in those movies. Like it's so cool because it makes you feel like endangered.
I need to see that in No Way Home. I need more of that. I need that scene in particular to come back. just for Tom Holland's sake. Like let him get blown up by a goblin bomb.
Well, I mean, according to what we've seen already, it's going to happen.
Yeah,
He's
basically.
diving at a
I
bomb,
want-
and
he has
as
his
he's
mask
reaching
off
for the
at that
bomb,
point,
it's
right?
already exploding.
But
Yeah,
he already
no,
has
but
a
I need
mask
the same
off at that
frame.
point, too.
Yeah, he has the mask off. No, I need the same frame by frame, play by
Oh, that,
play.
like with his head turning and that,
Yes,
the
I
spit
want-
coming
I
out of his
want
mouth.
Flopping.
Yeah.
I want that.
Yeah.
I want that
Yeah.
same frame because well, actually, it's cool. I don't know how many of you guys seen it, but they're actually taking the close up camera shots and putting them in this movie from the Sam Raimi stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
So
They
like
even
they're
had,
gonna show homage to it, which is cool.
Yeah, I mean, in one of the clips they showed, like they had apparently Doc Ock's theme like came back from the original Spider-Man 2, so that's pretty
Yeah.
cool. So, does anyone else have any like basic final thoughts for like anything that we talked about? Is Azik back? He said he was gone, but
Yeah, he's back.
oh,
Is
okay.
he?
Azik, did he?
Well, he's still muted.
Oh, Azik, are you
Oh.
talking to yourself, Azik, or is just lying to me? I feel like
Is
Iz
it-
No,
just
no,
lying to me.
no, he
he's
left.
definitely muted.
No, he left. He left the VC and then he just came back. But I
Yeah,
don't know. If
Still muted. Like I
Yeah.
feel like he would have been saying stuff. I don't know.
All right. Well, I got one. I don't know if we talked about it yet, but how do you guys feel about Mysterio? as a
Oh yeah,
villain, like
we didn't
how
really,
they did.
yeah.
Because we didn't touch base on
Yeah, we
that. I
never
don't
really did,
think.
huh?
I mean, let's be like honestly, and I said this to Iz and Geek. I think today because we did our thing. I definitely like not Rey Mysterio. Calm down. No, I'm talking about I think he was cool. I think the connection with him and Tony Stark was important. Just simply at the fact because like nobody's getting like Mysterio's not just gonna randomly show up and be like, yeah, I don't like this guy wearing a spider suit. So I definitely think that connection was important. However, the drones, if there was relevance to the drones before, like I understand the actual hologram thing was referenced in Civil War, but if there was a reference to the drones in the past, I feel like that aspect wouldn't be completely hated on. Because like Mysterio himself, like he's known for illusions, he's known to do all that stuff or whatever. And obviously we know, it's all actual like is it actually magic that he does it with the comics or whatever? So I don't remember that part.
No,
exactly.
in the comic books,
That's
he's
all.
just a special effects wizard.
Yeah,
Okay,
Like,
cool.
He's all tech based.
it's all fake.
Okay. Okay, because I remember like with the Ultimate Alliance game, I don't know who's played that recently, where you have Miles, Gwen, and Miss Marvel, and he's just manipulating them. Which is I still think that that's a cool concept too. But no, I like Mysterio. It's just a lot of I feel like he could have just been a bit better, instead of having like a team. I see. I don't know. I like the team, but I hate the team of people that he had help him do stuff too. So I don't know.
I mean, it was cool. I never was like, like, oh my god, Mysterio, let's go, in terms of like the movie, the villain, Mysterio's cool in general, I think, but I just when I think of him in the second movie, I always think of the moment where where Peter just really uses his spider sense and then grabs the gun. Like that was so like raw to me. I don't know. It was so cool.
It was
Stupid
rewarding.
Peter.
Yeah.
Yeah, Peter Tingle. I wish they called it something better. Why don't you just call it a spider? Who in the writer's room said, yeah, let's call it a Peter Tingle? And then literally in that scene, he says, come on, Peter Tingle. Listen, I'm not seeing a Marvel movie to go ahead and see someone say Peter Tingle. Nah, I want the full on, come on, Spidey sense. Like, come on. Like, I just don't like that. It just made it worse. Like, nah, call it Spidey sense. You're Spider-Man, Spidey sense. It makes sense. Put it in the movie. Nope. So yeah, unfortunately.
Okay, so Mysterio was yours, obviously. Your final thought. Anyone else has any final thoughts? Pretty much.
I would say for me, it's like at the end of the day, it's just this is like we've already like went through the whole entire Sam Raimi trilogy, went through like the duology of with Andrew Garfield and stuff like that. Now with Tom Holland, we're going through this trilogy. I'm just excited at this point to see No Way Home, see what's going on, see what happens, and at the end of the day, like I just want to watch that movie, sit down, and just see everything that they culminated up to this point. So that's for me.
The last thing I'll say about what I'm a little bit worried about for No Way Home is that they're trying to ram too much into the movie.
Yeah.
That's my one fear for it, but obviously really looking forward to seeing it. Hopefully they pull it off.
As far as my final thought, I'm just really, really incredibly excited for this movie. Like, after hearing that they're only showing press the first 40 minutes, I mean, they've got stuff in here. Like, yeah, we know the worst kept secret in the world. We do. But we know that secret. What don't we know? And what don't they want the press to know before the movie comes out? Like,
Yeah.
For me, that's just super exciting. This is unprecedented in the realm of film. Never, ever in the history of film have they sent out press screeners for less than the full movie.
Yeah, I remember I mentioned that when I first saw that report. Like, there's literally no movie. I know Toon trying to mention Endgame, not even Endgame. Like, not a single movie has ever done that where they just show us like only a portion of the movie for like interviews. So that is actually like really insane because, like you said, like I feel like again it could just be that they think their insane reveals are the reveals we kind of like know already, right? Or like got leaked. But yeah, well, tomorrow's like the premiere, I believe, right, Sam? Like tomorrow's like the premiere of it.
Yes, yeah, the red carpet premiere, which is gonna be so weird because like, obviously we know and we could say who we think is gonna be in this movie, and what's been confirmed, you know, via leaks and stuff. But it's gonna be a very awkward red carpet, you know,
because
They won't show up.
they won't. It's like they could show up just as honorary guests, or they
but they
can't.
won't show
They're not
up.
gonna show up. Yeah, like I don't know. It's gonna be so awkward because it's like every other red carpet for a Marvel movie has been, you know what you're getting, you know.
Mhm.
So with this one, it's like you don't know what's gonna happen until you actually like see it. So I think it would be cool if they played off as like, oh yeah, they're guests. Nah, we're not in the movie. What are you talking about? And stuff. But I don't know. I don't know.
Alrighty, so I think Trucko, do you have anything or no?
DC sucks. Marvel's better. Spider-Man is cool.
Oh,
Okay, I was gonna flame you, but like Spider-Man. No, Tony, easy, Tony, easy. So, all right, chat.
Wait, I just want to say Spider-Man's cool, and I'm excited for the movie.
Yeah.
You fucking copycat.
Fuck you.
Well, and with that,
I'm gonna say Andrew is the best one.
I agree. Anyway, with that being said, chat, appreciate everyone. The 200 plus people. Wow, I've just been swinging around doing stuff while we talked. Appreciate everyone stopping by to just talk about Spider-Man, and that's kind of like what the goal was, and I hope that's what you guys felt. Just talking about it in chat and everything, because we're all really excited. Obviously, the fact that we're all here talking about it. So, yeah, I'll end for now, and I don't know if anyone's gonna pick up. Gresh, are you doing Pokemon tonight or not really?
Yeah, I'll probably do it a bit later. Maybe on like 11 or 12 Eastern.
Okay, so maybe that time later, chat. So, again, appreciate y'all. Peace out, everyone.